From 2 to 6
on ESPN
102.5 The Game and The Game Nashville app.
The Cromwell Media Station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and The Game Nashville app.
And welcome into the Friday edition of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezvik here with you on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Hope everybody's doing well out there. What a night it was last night in the world of sports around here. We got no shortage of things to talk about today here on the program. Joe Rexrode, what's going on? How we doing?
I'd like to say here from the kitchen of Phyllis Pratt in Venice, Florida, congratulations to the 2022 AFC South champion Indianapolis Colts.
Ooh.
You got A.J. Brown out of the division. A very diabolical plan. You win. Good job. Congrats.
Joe was already going with it, with the Colts winning the division in 2022. Michelle, what's going on? How are you?
Robby, when you texted us last night about this A.J. Brown news in a group message, I was at the 102.5 The Game draft cast, and I'm like, he's joking. Is this a April Fool's or something? And I'm like, where is Chase? Because he was in the group message. I'm like, did you just see what Robby texted us? And then you sent Adam Schefter's tweet, and my jaw completely dropped. I feel like I ruled this out last week, and like you said, no shortage of things to talk about today, and I'm still pretty shocked this morning. But doing good, I guess, if you could say that.
Well, you know, the first, whatever, I don't know, 10, 11 picks last night, I was looking around, and, you know, I'm watching the Preds game on one screen, the draft's on the other screen, and like the first 10 picks, I was like, well, this sucks. This is boring. And I think I tweeted out, well, the draft is boring. And I think literally from that pick that I tweeted out on, it just got absolutely insane. There were trades, there were runs on wide receivers in the draft. You know, the Saints were moving up, the Lions were moving up, all these different things. And all of a sudden, Joe, boom, A.J. Brown is traded to the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Titans end up with the number 18 overall pick last night in the draft. And A.J. Brown has gone, not only traded to the Eagles, but traded to the Eagles and then signed to a long-term contract with the Eagles as well. So let's just start there. Your reaction to the Titans making the decision to trade A.J. Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, look, I think it's going to be I think it's going to go down as an all-timer of a mistake for John Robinson. And I just I wrote this at The Athletic. I'll say it now. We don't know everything. We don't know every piece of conversation that went on. It was characterized by John and Mike Vrabel last night as there was no alternative, basically. But that's not true. There are a lot of different ways that you could have gone with this. And I think the big thing for me was when I saw the deal that he signed. I mean, look, if you believe that A.J. Brown's about to break down physically and just isn't going to be a productive player, isn't going to be close to what he is not going to stay on the same trajectory, well, then you shouldn't even have gotten, you should have, then you should have just moved on. You moved on. Good job. I don't know how you could possibly think that, and that's not what they said last night. That deal, by the time A.J. Brown is done with it in Philly, is going to look like a sweet bargain. A sweet bargain. People can talk about 25 million. I mean, 57 million guaranteed. This is not some outrageous deal. And this, now I go back to the whole Deebo Samuel's mom on Instagram. Sadly, as wacky as that situation was, it kind of all adds up together. I don't think you draw a line in the sand in this. And I certainly don't think you do this and weaken yourself next year and basically punt on next year. That's what you've done. Look, Treylon Burks might end up being a great NFL player. I like him. I think it's a good pick in the first round. I think it's a good pick where they got him. It's ridiculous to think he's going to come in here and replace A.J. Brown next year, snap of the finger. A.J. Brown's about to go into his fourth year with Ryan Tannehill as quarterback. I don't know if panic move is the right word, but you could have done other things. You could have waited this out. AJ Brown would have played, and I don't think it would have come to that anyway. The deal he got to me is like, wait a minute, this is not some, whoa, oh my gosh, now I understand the situation. Not at all.
By the way, the contract for AJ Brown, 4 years, $100 million now with the Philadelphia Eagles, 57 of which is guaranteed. So obviously, I mean, that's big money for AJ Brown. And, people are going to focus in on the $25 million per year. What you talked about, and we've talked about this earlier, is what really matters is the guaranteed money with AJ Brown. And with the salary cap going up, with the wide receiver position in terms of the money going up as well, like this is going to be right around where I thought he was going to land in terms of the dollar amount for AJ Brown. So it is kind of amazing. I mean, we've talked about this. The Titans have spent 20 years looking for a guy like AJ Brown to come in and play wide receiver, and they finally got him. And then now at the age of 24, they've lost him and have traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles. And now you're hoping that Treylon Burks can come in. And look, we're going to talk obviously a lot about AJ Brown today. Let me start by saying I love Treylon Burks. We've talked about Treylon Burks for weeks here on the show. I think it's a great pick by the Titans, and I think Treylon Burks is going to be a really good NFL player. Is Treylon Burks going to come in year one and be a number one wide receiver? I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I kind of have my doubts that that's going to happen. So I don't think there's any question the Titans are a weaker football team today than they were yesterday heading into the first round of the NFL draft. And Joe, as you pointed out in your article in The Athletic, that's kind of hard to accomplish, is getting worse on the day where you're drafting a first round pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, I just can't. I mean, frankly, I just can't believe it still. I mean, because and I like Glennon last night asked, and honestly, I don't even know what he's referring to, but apparently someone out there reported AJ Brown cut off talks. If you know who it is, let me know. Yeah, that's Glennon asked a question along those lines, and Robinson didn't get into specifics. They basically kept going back, over and over again to basically, like this was, the gap was too big. Vrabel, I'm trying to make sure I have the words correct here. Vrabel talked about just how big it was, how big. A lot of things you can't anticipate. I just feel confident we went to the extreme to try to keep AJ Brown here. But this isn't the extreme. I mean, this is draft day, and you tell me what would have happened had they just not made this deal and they went on with their business and drafted, and they drafted at 26. They're not going to get Burks at 26. So, if you're a Titans fan who wants to look at the bright side, you wouldn't have Treylon Burks if you had AJ Brown right now. I don't know how that's the bright side, but I mean, they would have drafted someone else at 26 or done something else. And AJ Brown, would have played next year. And maybe they anticipated that it would have been a bad situation. Unhappy players happen all over this league all the time. And then you can tag him. I mean, you had different things that you could have done here. Again, which wouldn't have been ideal for anyone, but are within your rights to do, and he and his agent very well know that. I just, again, if I saw some, like Philadelphia gives him, 75 guaranteed and 30 a year or something, it's like, well, gee, you know what? There's a team that's going nuts with it, and it'd be harder to be mad at John Robinson and Mike Vrabel and the Titans. But that's not the case. And again, you wait until the end of this deal. If he doesn't have some serious injury issues, when this deal's up, he's going to be 28. He's going to be in his prime, and he's going to be one of Philadelphia's most beloved athletes, because I think he's on his way to greatness. And you just can never count on that from anyone you draft.
By the way, Ryan Porth texting in says Diana Rossini, the one reported that AJ stopped communication with the Titans. So Diana Rossini on that report.
Okay, thanks. So someone, Diana Rossini has a source in the Titans organization. So someone dropped that to her. Meanwhile, AJ Brown tweets and deletes, because he always deletes everything. He comes out with, love you, Tennessee, not my fault, in all caps, And I just regardless, the he said back and forth on this, to me, doesn't matter as much as the Titans did not have to do this, and I think they've made a devastating mistake.
Although it would be nice to see AJ Brown be able to tweet something without deleting it in a span of 90 seconds after that. That'd be great.
Does he think that that's what it this that's the thing, you tweet and then you delete, right?
I don't know. It's unbelievable to me. But all of a sudden you start to think back to the tweets, the Instagram live that you brought up. Heck, even throwing with Jalen Hurts last week. I didn't think throwing with Jalen Hurts was that big of a deal because he's known Jalen Hurts for a long time. But now, the throwing with Jalen Hurts looks a lot different to me now than it did this time last week. It's when you start to look back and piece everything together with AJ Brown, I certainly view it differently today than I did before. I don't think there's any question.
This is another great example of all the people who come to you with stuff that you're like, oh, that's so dumb. Come on. He's known Jalen Hurts his whole. Now, granted, I actually think that still was just that, right? I mean, those guys, they've known each other.
I don't know, man.
Hey. Well, then everybody's lying, triple time because, Robinson said that they contacted him Wednesday. He characterized it as an 18 to 20 hour intense kind of process that finally started to really flesh out Thursday morning. So if this was a conspiracy for weeks, hey, text liners that I ripped, tip of the cap. Okay. But yes, the social media posts, I think clearly it was more toward management than fans, right? At least it appears that way. But so again, just I know we have to go to break, and this is probably going to happen a lot today, or I'm just going to be blabbing, and it's time to go to break about this. So great, he cut off talks if that's the case. So remember, this means that someone in the Titans organization wants to make sure that's out there, right?
Yeah.
Great, he cut off talks. Okay, talk to him in July then. He's going to hold out. He's going to hold out of the spring stuff. This happens all the time in the NFL. And the thing is, with AJ Brown, who's been here all this time, look, he's had his ups and downs. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's too wrapped up in social media. And there's things about it that you're like, oh man, I wish AJ didn't do this or that. Man, that guy is an absolute light in a locker room, okay, and on the field. And I think you stick it out with this, and you may be furious at his agent, but you stick it out and you keep a great player. You keep the most talented receiver this franchise has ever seen.
We are off and running here today on Robby and Rexrode, taking your thought on the AJ Brown situation. Traded from the Titans to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Titans drafting Treylon Burks at number 18 overall. 615-737-1025. 615-737-1025. We'll continue that discussion next. Got a whole lot of your thoughts to get to on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025, The Game.
Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN.
Welcome into the DDC.
Starting company is delivered. There's a new way to hear 1025 The Game. Nashville's best sports talk on 106.3 FM. From downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24. You now have two choices to hear our great sports programming.
Get the extra point, no problem.
And the Nashville Predators. Scores! Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. Get a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, simple deck height adjustments, and a quality cut. When you need comfort and performance, then you need the professional-grade Kubota Z400. Right now, get the Kubota Z400 mower for 0 down, 0% APR for 36 months, or save $300. Now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Come see why Coleman Tractor Company is one of the largest Kubota dealers in Middle Tennessee, with 4 locations to serve you in Paris, Clarksville, Nashville, and their new location in White House.
Family Leisure invites you to vacation at home with your family with a new spa, pool, patio furniture, or wood play gym this summer.
I really want a spa.
Family Leisure has 40 spas on display from 3 of the biggest brand names: Artesian, Best Spas, and American Select. Prices starting as low as $29.99.
What about above ground pools?
Family Leisure has hundreds of pools in stock and on sale. Guaranteed installation before Memorial Day, starting as low as $29.99. Installed.
Wow, that's great.
If you're looking at a spa, I want some new patio furniture. Family Leisure has patio furniture from all the big brand names like Hanneman, Woodard, Jensen, and Apricity. There's more than 100 sets on display to choose from with free delivery.
That sounds good to me too. And maybe a new Sabre infrared grill to go with it.
We really should look at the wood play gym for the kids. Family Leisure has the Diamond Point swing set on sale at only $24.99 installed. It's Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale going on now at both huge locations, Franklin and Antioch.
Nashville's Anheuser-Busch distributor, Ajax Turner Company, is hiring Class A drivers and driver trainees who will obtain their Class A license through the company's very own driver training and testing program for free. Be home every day and off on weekends while earning competitive wages and receiving benefits like medical and life insurance, paid time off, 401k, and supplemental insurance programs. Apply at ajaxturner.com/career or call 615-280-3904. Anheuser-Busch reminds you to drink responsibly.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands, including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
O'Reilly. Don't miss out on Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. If your car is ready for a spring cleaning, stop by for great deals on everything you need to keep it looking like new, including Mother's California Gold Wash and Wax, just $5.99 for a 64-ounce bottle. That's a $5 savings. Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts today or shop O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Friends, ever heard the grass is always greener on the other side? If you're in a dead-end job, you want greener grass. Well, My Computer Career can help. In months, not years, they can give you a new life as an IT pro. You learn from home by taking classes live online. Financial aid is available to those who qualify. And My Computer Career offers lifetime career services, which helps you find jobs with companies begging for IT pros. Go to mycomputercareer.edu today and take the free career evaluation. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Interact with Robby and Rexrode. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Because there were too many things going on with him. And I believe the Titans just got tired of it.
Yep.
They knew they were not going to be able, they were not going to pay him $25 million. I've said this before. His true number is $18 million based upon what he's doing. The market says he's getting 22. The Titans were not going to pay. He wanted 25. The Titans were not going to pay him 25. They just were not going to do that because they know they got to pay other people moving down the line. He wanted to get paid, which I've always said, listen, you're only worth as much as a team is going to pay you.
Absolutely.
He wanted to get paid as a bona fide number one on anybody's team. But his numbers, the production, the inconsistencies,
the injuries,
the injuries didn't match up.
That was Derek Mason last night on our draft show. It was quite the show last night, listening to Jared and TD and Chris Sanders and D-Mace kind of react in live time to A.J. Brown being traded from the Titans to the Philadelphia Eagles, and then the Titans drafting Treylon Burks at number 18 overall last night. Joe, what did you make of D-Mace's comments there in terms of Titans were not going to go to that number, and ultimately some of the stuff off the field may have sent the Titans over the edge in this conversation?
I mean, I call BS on all of it. I got to hear what I mean. So, like, did anyone on the show? Because I obviously I wasn't able to listen to it. Anybody on the show get mad about this?
Oh yeah, TD was mad.
TD was mad, yeah. And I saw TD's facial reaction. I was sitting there, and he looked at me, and he was like, "I am so mad right now." Yeah. I'll get some.
Jared's thumbs up on this. Yay.
I don't know if thumbs up is the right word, but I think by the end of it, he was kind of talking himself into it. Look, I will say, I don't think A.J. Brown's worth $25 million based on his production. Now, will he be worth $25 million? That's the thing. I mean, that's what you got to project out. I mean, to D-Mace's point, based on what he's done so far, there's no question to me he's not worth $25 million.
Well,
will he be eventually?
His deal's up. I mean, his deal's up, and look at the market. Look at what guys are getting. Yeah. I mean, look, I would, if average annual value is that important, and it's not, but if it is, and I think it is, we've talked about this, it is to these guys, you're comparing yourself to other players in the league. So if A.J. Brown thinks he's a top 5 receiver in the league or whatever it is, no, he's not there yet. But I will stick to $25 million a year will look like a hilarious cheap deal by the time he's done with this. I'll put it out there right now. If his body breaks down on him, I'll be dead wrong. And if that's the case, and Treylon Burks comes in and is great right away, and all this stuff, hey, this could look like a great situation. That deal's not crazy. Yeah, I mean, I would have. I'm trying to think. I think at some point Jared and I went back and forth, and I threw out about the same. No, I put 70 million guarantee, which Jared was like, "That's crazy." Okay, 60. Somewhere in the 60s. This is 57 guarantee. I mean, yeah, 25 million a year, great. I promise you, he's 26 years old. He's 27 years old. That will not look like any kind of big deal in the NFL. The cap is absolutely skyrocketing.
Yeah.
I mean, quarterbacks are going to be, like Charles said the other day, they're going to be making 60. Receivers, the top receivers, are going to be making 40, man. I mean, it's just so. And John Robinson knows this stuff. Every single thing we can talk about today, from every angle of this, I totally agree and believe John Robinson. This is his job, and he knows the reaction to this, so he goes through all this stuff. And that's where I can't. I mean, there's obviously missing information. We're not going to have all the gaps filled in. But man, that information's got to be awfully freaking compelling. Like A.J. Brown said, I'll never play for you again. I mean, it doesn't appear that that's the case. Even if he cut off talks, great. So come back to him. I can't. I think it's, and this. I know people. Titans fans who want to talk themselves into this, they're gonna point to 869 yards. They're gonna point to last year and all that stuff. And he went to Indy and just dominated the game. Said, you know what, none of you can guard me, and I'm gonna win this game. He went to the game that got them to where they had a chance at the end to be the 1 seed, San Francisco. He completely dominated the football game. He was the best football player on the field. That happened many times in his career. If you've watched A.J. Brown, you know what he is. The only thing that's going to hold him back here is injury, and he doesn't have one chronic injury that makes you think that's going to happen.
Well, I mean, the thing that's going to hold him back now is his quarterback's not very good either, in Jalen Hurts. But I hear you. Yes, injury. Like, I don't think his production is going to be that great in Philly because I don't think his quarterback's that great in Philly. But the injury part of it, for sure. Like A.J. Brown, if you watch him play, he is a superstar caliber player. I don't think there's any question about that. Dan in Clarksville texting in says, Joe, I completely disagree. Derrick Henry is the most talented player the Titans have ever seen. Wide receivers are a dime a dozen. They're not worth this money. The market is messed up. And what's the point of having a game-changing receiver if your quarterback is throwing the ball to the other team all the time? This is coming from Dan from Clarksville. Well, at that point, you think Ryan Tannehill was struggling before, then take A.J. Brown away from him. How's that going to work out?
Muted and blocked, Dan. Muted and blocked. I mean, I'm sorry. It's get the, I mean, GTFO. GTFO. Receivers are a dime a dozen. Come on. Yeah, Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's about to put out a collage of him like fishing, lying on the beach, like, eating like donuts all day, doing everything but football right now. I mean, look, I love, like Michelle, that's a great, anecdote on TD's reaction. Man, would I love the video, 5-second reaction of all the key football players who play for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Let's see what they think about this.
Well, did you guys see Kevin Byard's tweet?
Furious.
Yeah.
No.
Kevin Byard was mad. He had like the mad emojis. I mean, and eventually he started tweeting about, welcoming Treylon Burks and all that stuff. But yeah, I can't imagine this is something that Taylor Lewan and Kevin Byard and Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry are just thrilled about today, losing A.J. Brown. I mean, there's no question. And we can talk about, was A.J. Brown worth that money? We got a lot of different opinions on that on the text line. And all these different things. How good's Treylon Burks going to be? There's no question to me that the Titans are a worse football team today. I don't think that's debatable.
No, I mean, that's right. I mean, that part is not debatable. I'm seeing on Twitter and on the text line, there's people who are going to talk themselves into it. Hey, great. Talk yourself into it. And you know what? I've been wrong on a lot of things before. I thought Clowney was worth going after. I thought Julio Jones was going to be a massive injection of this offense and a big deal for the Titans, on and on and on. Okay. I don't see how you can watch A.J. Brown's career to hear and understand, I think Treylon Burks has a chance to be a very good player, but dude, as a rookie, you are now putting a guy in a position to be basically the number one receiver, and he's directly replacing a guy who was already going to be compared to his whole career. But now it's such an unfair spot for Treylon Burks. I mean, and granted, hey, who wouldn't want to be picked 18th and make that money and be in the NFL and say, here's a starting job? But it's just a tough spot for him, and they are worse for sure. And what are they right now? I mean, someone tweeted this out, and it's kind of funny, but it's kind of like, is this the competitive rebuild of the Titans? Is that what this is?
I don't know. I mean, look,
maybe it's QB time today. Just go for it. Go for the whole thing.
I'll be honest with you. When they got Treylon Burks last night and 26 was still on the board for them, I thought they were taking a QB. Like I absolutely thought that they were going to hang around at 26, and Malik Willis was still on the board, and I thought that's where they were going to go at that point. Now, obviously, they traded out at 26, and they picked up a couple of more picks, which honestly I think was a pretty good move for the Titans at that point. But I thought after the A.J. Brown trade in 26, I mean, you had the tackle was gone. You had both guards gone. I thought there was a chance at 26 they're going to take a quarterback last night.
Well, at 35, that is very much in play. I mean, and honestly, I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised either way. But again, be great around Ryan Tannehill. I mean, the quote from last night that sticks with me from Mike Vrabel is he got mad about the fact that he said, not as long as I'm coach, thanks for saying my words back to me. That whole quote, right?
Yeah.
He says, unfortunately, we understand that if we're going to be here a while, we're not going to be able to keep every single player we draft and develop. Okay. Titans fans don't want to hear about like your long-term staying power, And no, everybody knows you're not going to be able to keep every single player you draft and develop. But when you get a great one, which is not easy to do, not easy to find, and you know what? The Titans fan history is different than their history, right? It's a lot shorter. But man, fine, take that out of it. Like, this is a great player. And this is a guy that's worth going to the distance for. And I think A.J. Brown would have played here in Nashville on whatever the situation is in the end, and that this was a whole bunch of, making noise from him and his agent, and he got what he wanted, I guess.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. A.J. Brown traded from the Titans to the Philadelphia Eagles, 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025, The Game.
Breaking news.
The Philadelphia Eagles have traded the 18th pick to the Tennessee Titans.
The Titans trade wide receiver receiver A.J. Brown to the Eagles.
He got his money and he got traded. I did not think that A.J. Brown's complaining was enough to trade him.
And then draft wide receiver Treylon Burks from Arkansas.
Burks is going to have to grow real quick. You're not getting the speed. You're not getting the quickness. You're not getting the route run.
What's next for the two-tone blue? Keep it locked to Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
Don't forget to grab your mom something special this year. Shop at Social Furniture for their Mother's Day sale, where everything is in stock. They have sofas, bedroom sets, and top-name brand new mattresses like Purple, Serta, Sealy, and Simmons on sale now. Running out of time? Well, at Social Furniture, there's no waiting and same-day delivery. Use Social Furniture's financing plan and pay no interest for 1 full year. Shop at Social Furniture today on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local. Shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Winter's a bad time for your furnace to go out, but it's never a bad time to call Lee Company. Our heating and air conditioning pros are available 24/7. No heat? Don't wait. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000. Our expert technicians will diagnose the issue and fix it right the first time. When you're cold, you need someone you can count on to bring the heat. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
What if you could be debt-free in 3 weeks? Hey, Willie Donick here. My friends at Loan Pronto are helping people do it every day. It's Loan Pronto's Debt Consolidation Home Refi, wiping out tens of thousands in credit card debt. Listen, your home's value is way up. You can refinance now, take money out to pay off all your credit cards, eliminate PMI charges, pay off personal loans, or other high-interest debt. One local couple had over $50,000 in credit card debt. Loan Pronto did a debt consolidation refi, and even though their mortgage rate went up a tad, they cut their monthly payments by $900. Why pay 20% interest when you can consolidate it to one low payment with a mortgage APR in the 3? Homeowners who do it save an average of $800 a month. Do it now and even skip your next house payment altogether. That's what I call financial freedom. Call Loan Pronto now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
The Eagles Hotel California Tour.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
Live in concert with a full orchestra.
Take it.
Performing their iconic album Hotel California, beginning to end, plus a greatest hits set. The Eagles.
One of these nights.
Tonight at Bridgestone Arena. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
The year was 1919. Barbasol shaving cream was invented by a dreamer named Frank Shields. The world's first modern shave cream, Barbasol changed the face of shaving forever. A few billion shaves later, Frank's dream lives on. Behind every face is a dream. Barbasol proudly salutes every fearless, self-assured, wide-eyed dreamer all across America. Celebrating 100 years. Barbasol.
Sunday. The stars of the Cup Series head to the Dover Motor Speedway for the Dryden 400. Coverage begins at 1 on Nashville's home for NASCAR.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Mookie Betts. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Adam Schefter is reporting that the Titans are trading A.J. Brown to the Eagles, and the Tennessee Titans are on the clock.
Oh, my God.
What are you getting their receiver?
They gonna get a receiver?
Chargers, the Chargers are on the clock.
Who you think?
The Titans, Burks. They're going to get Burks.
But, boy, A.J. Brown, I'm confused.
But I've been discussing this for the last 2 weeks.
But I don't know. Let me just drink my muscle.
But I
thought it was going to be
Elijah, what have I been saying for the last 2 weeks?
I thought it was going to be the Jets, though.
I've said that for the last 2 weeks.
I mean, isn't 18? That's not enough for A.J. Brown, is it?
Wow, that dude.
That was a live reaction last night on our draft show to A.J. Brown being traded from the Titans to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Titans selecting Treylon Burks at number 18 overall. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Check out Nashville's best deal of the week. Penne Pazza in L&L Market is in West Nashville. Penne Pazza is Nashville's best and most authentic Italian restaurant, serving fresh farm-to-table dishes. Head to theGameNashville.com/deals now to get half off a $30 gift card to Penne Pazza while supplies last. We are streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Joe, one thing that I'm interested to kind of get your thoughts on that we've talked about here a little bit. I did think about when A.J. Brown was traded last night, the comments that Vrabel had on the Rich Eisen show just about 3 weeks ago, a little bit over 3 weeks ago at this point, saying, Rich Eisen asked him if A.J. Brown was on the trading block, essentially. And Vrabel's immediate response was, not as long as I'm the head coach. And we talked about that on the show the next day. Obviously, that was something that was brought up to Vrabel again last night at the press conference, which he did not particularly enjoy being brought up last night by Paul Koharski at the press conference. It did not look like Mike Vrabel was a very happy man last night. That was just kind of my view on the matter, both in the immediate video that was out there after the Titans made the pick at 18 and also in the press conference as well. What do you think about Mike Vrabel and the way that he reacted last night to A.J. Brown being traded?
Well, I wrote this, and it absolutely, to me, it was so easy to see. Mike Vrabel's demeanor last night was exactly the same demeanor he has after they have a horrifying loss. It's the same. Which again, I don't even like. I don't have a big problem with it. You put a lot into this. You're an emotional guy. Vrabel is very, very likely to snap at people in the wake of a huge setback. That's exactly what this is. This is a huge setback for his football team. So yeah, look, everybody saw the video. I'm sure if you haven't, it got heavy circulation. With a quick from the broadcast, quick look at the Titans war room, and Vrabel did not look. We got some of these old ones where like Vrabel and Robinson are fist bumping, like, yeah, I got our guy. It was not that. It was not that. Now I hesitate to look at that little clip, and say I know exactly what the conversation. Sometimes you can take those things and. Let's talk about 2 years ago when everybody thought his kid was, dropping a deuce on TV, and was just sure of it on the internet, just positive that was what was happening. But he didn't look too happy in the press conference. And by the way, last night, telling Katie, like, I cannot believe, that we're away for a family thing and had to be, and it killed me a little bit to not be at that presser because I had a lot of questions and I had to watch it on the stream, and everybody in the Titans media did a good job. They asked the right questions, but it was like, I can't believe that this is I thought this was going to be the most boring Titans night of drafting ever. Like, okay.
Zion Johnson.
Right. Well, of course, he was gone quickly, by the way. Those offensive guards. Some people think
Green was gone before him. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people think offensive guards are worth drafting in the first round, but you go from that to, oh my God, first of all, just pure panic. Like I said, it'd be nice to see the video while the players reacting. Brian Tannehill must have like broken something. But the chaos here, I tell you what, it was something to behold too. It just listen to that radio clip. This is just shocking. Dennis, our buddy Dennis on Twitter says this also has a chance to be a legendary great decision. Well, hey, it could be. A.J. Brown could get hurt, could never play well. I agree with you, Robby, that he's taken a step back in QB. Even if you hate Tannehill, you have to be able to acknowledge that, right?
I would hope so.
No sure thing. And look, I like Treylon Burks. This is no comment on Treylon Burks at all. His presser last night was awesome. People are going to love him, but it's just, you just can't expect that. No one could have expected what A.J. Brown was in his first year, let alone what he's grown into. you have hopes. Maybe a second-round pick. You couldn't have anticipated that, and you can't expect Treylon Burks to be A.J. Brown.
A texter on the text line says, Vrabel said the Titans needed to be great around Tannehill this offseason. Will someone please ask him how this enhances the greatness around Tannehill, not having A.J. Brown? I mean, number one, I thought about this yesterday too. Like, don't you have to feel pretty good that Robert Woods is going to be available for you to begin the season? Because I mean, we've talked about the Treylon Burks part of this. Obviously, he's going to have to be a big factor this year. And look, you said it. I think Treylon Burks is a really good player. I don't know that he's going to be A.J. Brown. I think Treylon Burks is a really good player. But to me, you're like right now, like, you better be pretty darn confident if you're John Robinson and Mike Vrabel that Robert Woods is going to be ready to go.
I mean, after camp, you may be looking at your starting day because the learning curves are who knows. And the thing about Burks is if you look at and again I very much trust Brugler, but I mean it's pretty consistent analysis across the board. After the catch, phenomenal. Look, anybody who watched him in college, I mean he's got a chance to be a dynamic player in the NFL. But the big knock on him and why he was down behind some of those other guys is as a route runner, he's still kind of rudimentary, and some of those other guys are like expert route runners, especially for guys coming into the NFL. He's not. So what does that mean? Well, there's going to be a learning curve. I mean, depending on how camp goes, maybe throwing a nagging injury, you could be looking at first day of like Nick Westbrook-Akina, Des Fitzpatrick, and Cam Batson as your top three receivers. Again, I think Burks gonna have every chance to start, but I'm just saying, think about A.J. Brown as a rookie. A.J. Brown played sparingly early in that season. He had the huge play, catch and run at Cleveland, right in his career debut, but it wasn't. His snaps and all that stuff were actually quite limited a lot of that rookie year, and then they got going, and the light went on and things clicked. And that was a fast adjustment. Receivers are much faster now at coming in and being able to play in the NFL. But even with AJ, very few people are Jamar Chase. I mean, that's just Jamar Chase is going to be this example. That's what people are doing. They're not going to pay these receivers. Go get a Jamar Chase. Okay. Good luck with that. I want to take it to Ryan in Nashville on the text line real quick. Titans essentially chose Jeff Simmons over AJ Brown. I agree with that decision. It's tough, as beloved as AJ is by the team and as good as he is. $25 million is overpaying for a guy who's injury prone and still drops balls. He's a $20 million receiver right now, not $25 million. Let me just read my response. In all caps, zero reason to feel you had to choose between those two. You sign your great players. You can do that with more than one guy. Great, he's a $20 million receiver right now, and he'll be a $35 million receiver based on the market when his deal is done. And then I wrote, come on, end quote.
Although the dropping balls part of it brings up the guy who texted in a couple weeks ago that said that A.J. Brown has 61% drop rate. Like, whoop. If that's the case, then you should have traded him 2 years ago.
It is a lot. This is a lot of money for a guy who who only catches 39% of the passes that come his way. It's actually an incredible job by A.J. to get paid under those circumstances.
Not only 39% that come his way, drop rate to 61. So 39% of the ones that hit him in the hands.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's incredible. Got a lot more of your thoughts to get to on the A.J. Brown situation. 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025, including a thought that Jared threw out there last night that I found to be pretty interesting in terms of what the future could look like for the Titans. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Do you want to help the families of soldiers who gave the ultimate sacrifice? Then join ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament, benefiting Folds of Honor, May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with athletes, musicians, and other local celebs to support a great cause. Sign up or donate at theGameNashville.com/golf.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Another mild start this morning with temperatures in the 50s. A couple isolated showers will be possible today, but we're mainly looking at partly cloudy skies with highs in the 80s.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with three-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug & Associates, this is Mickey Marquis. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Avoid biking in the rain and never touch another person's bike.
Hey guys, look at these bikes. So shiny. Whoops. I'm gonna leave a note. Oh gosh, there's more.
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as your Nashville Predators take on the Arizona Coyotes tonight. Puck drops at 9:30, but the party starts at 9 with all kinds of specials. See you at headquarters, Beercade, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds! Nashville's Anheuser-Busch distributor, Ajax Turner Company, is hiring Class A drivers and driver trainees who will obtain their Class A license through the company's very own driver training and testing program for free. Be home every day and off on weekends while earning competitive wages and receiving benefits like medical and life insurance, paid time off, 401k, and supplemental insurance programs. Apply at ajaxturner.com/career or call 615-280-3904. Anheuser-Busch reminds you to drink responsibly.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can save just by being you. DriveWise and the Allstate mobile app gives you personalized driving feedback, and by adding it to your policy, you can save for driving safe just by being yourself. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Darren McFarland.
He's cool. He's got a personality, and they make fun of him.
Willie Donick.
With this being a fun guy to come to work and hang around with all day.
Chase McCabe.
They're just like, hey, we need you to play yourself.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
You're listening to Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Is there any chance that AJ could be traded between now and that?
I think I've spoke on that several times now, so do not foresee that happening.
That was John Robinson last week at the pre-draft media availability for the Titans. Said he did not foresee trading A.J. Brown. Which, look, I'm not saying that John Robinson was lying at that point or anything, but it shows how quickly things can change in the NFL. Going from not foreseeing trading A.J. Brown to A.J. Brown being traded a week later in the first round of the NFL draft. That's why wording is important. It's why you never say, oh, we're not trading A.J. Brown, because something like this can happen.
I do not foresee this happening, but we've encouraged him to go play catch with Jalen Hurts because we're probably going to trade him to the Eagles next week. I'm kidding, by the way. I don't. But, man, the text line / Twitter / internet in general conspiracy theorists on A.J. Brown, boy, do they all look smart today. Once again, I got to apologize to a lot of people.
I know the Julio thing, now the A.J. Brown thing. I'm beginning to just keep an open mind on everything when it comes to the Titans at this point.
Well, listen, it wasn't before the draft. Technically, it was during, right? Jared said, will he get traded before the draft?
That is true.
That is true. I guess you could look at it like before the draft means before your pick, right? But
touche. Just let me have it, Joe.
That's I give it to you. I get. I'm sorry. I'm going through the text line. It's I'm getting
a madhouse on the text line.
Well, and I'm just getting angry all over again at people who are like, "Oh, this is a great deal. This is just business in the NFL." It's just I'm sorry, but Indy Ben taking a victory lap.
I'm sure he is.
Did we say that? Of course, my rant yesterday was, "Don't you ever criticize John Robinson, you Titans fans." Like, did we say that he's a top 5 GM? I just want to make sure.
You said that.
See if
yeah, you did say that.
I did say that. Okay. Well, here we go. Hey, it's ratio me today. So here's Indy Ben. Quote on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHoney.com. And you call J-Rob a top 5 NFL GM? Top GMs don't make panicky moves like that last night. Trading away arguably your best player because you're too cheap to pay him. I thought Tannehill was off with AJ. Now you take him away and it's about to get even worse for him. End quote. Indy Ben, tip of the cap. I don't know, man. Your team is going to win the division next year. Congratulations. Well, the Titans' reign in the AFC South has ended.
So I was listening to Jared and TD and Chris and D-Mace last night and all those guys, and it was interesting. Obviously, you're reacting in real time to a superstar getting traded away. TD didn't say that their window's completely shut, but he was pretty much hinting to the fact that their window it's pretty much shut here when it comes to winning a championship. And look, we talked about that anyway before the AJ Brown stuff. It felt like last year was the Titans' chance, and they just missed it. And now you got Russell Wilson going to Denver and Devontae Adams to the Raiders and all these different moves that have taken place in the AFC in terms of the conference just loading up this offseason. Matt Ryan to the Colts, you can take it a bunch of different directions. And Jared threw this out there last night. Like, if you can't win a Super Bowl, and I don't know if this is how Vrabel and Robinson are viewing this or not, but if you can't win a Super Bowl and you're going through a restructure or a rebuild or reload, I think is what TD called it, like, are you really better served having Derrick Henry on your roster right now? Like, are you going to see some more Titans get traded at this point based on the rest of the AFC? And now you've lost AJ Brown as well. I don't think so, but it's at least an interesting thought that I thought Jared threw out there last night. Do you think the Titans are in a rebuild?
Competitive rebuild. Here we go. We should have like Poyle and J-Rob do like some kind of like PSA together or something, or, like go in the dunk. Maybe they could both do a dunk tank. Tony Vitello talked about a dunk tank yesterday. But he did the chest bump. I think we should do a dunk tank with J-Rob and David Poyle and see which competitive rebuild gets fans like more upset. I don't know, man. Like, I think that beyond all this stuff, Robinson, they got themselves in good position here to get a lot of players today and in the rest of this draft. So, you can add more people who are going to help your football team next year. I think another one of these receivers makes sense now, right? I think,
yeah, absolutely.
Like Burks to me was like, oh, that'd be a nice ad with Woods and AJ.
It'd be a nice time to go pick up George Pickens. I know that.
Boy, that's not bad. Get Pickens at 35. But I just like, you are absolutely worse now, right? I mean, you're absolutely worse now. And I just don't see how you can do this and really look at yourself and say, this team can go win a Super Bowl. I just don't see it. And it's just, now it seems like it makes Tannehill's year this year seem even more like just a lame duck year, right? Like, thanks Ryan. Nice little, and Derrick Henry, how much time does he have? Like, Derrick Henry's time frame is like, you have to maximize it, and you are not maximizing it now. You are not. And it's a shame too, because I think the Titans have a chance to be one of the best defenses in the league this year. So look, put it all out for freezing cold takes. You know what? That defense is great. And Tannehill comes back with a vengeance, and all Burks is just one of the rookie sensations. And you can go through a lot of things and talk yourself into this team being great, but teams don't get great or better when they trade their great players away.
Well, that's why I thought at 26 last night they might go quarterback. And look, maybe they still will at 35. I mean, one thing we've not even brought up yet, there's one quarterback drafted last night. Kenny Pickett got drafted for the Steelers, and that was it last night. Malik Willis still on the board. Ritter's still on the board. Corral's still on the board. I mean, there's going to be a quarterback there at 35 if they want to take him. Now, I don't know that that's what they're going to do at this point, but I did think after they made this move last night, to your point, Joe, like this does affect the way I view Ryan Tannehill coming into next year. I thought there's a chance they're going to hang around at 26 and they're going to snatch up Malik Willis for a quarterback. Obviously, they didn't do that, but I guess they still could at 35.
Well, look, and to their credit on that, you didn't have to, right?
Yeah.
So now you got yourself back into the second round. So, I mean, the moves post disastrous AJ trade are good. I mean, those are good moves. And you're in position to do that. It's just, again, this is like for the Titans fan right now. It's just, this has got to be tough to swallow, right? I mean, it's just because like, there's just no way you can sell. I mean, I guess there's a certain percentage of the fan base that's so out on Tannehill, they'd be happy with that, right? We've tried to figure out like how big is that group of people, but for the most part, I think it's the reasonable expectation is that Ryan Tannehill could still be very good. He's been mostly good, if not better than that during his time here, and that what Vrabel said after the season, be great around him, is worth a shot. It's worth a try. Derrick Henry. What if he's great next year? I mean, you got this finite amount of time with Derrick Henry, the best running back in the NFL, one of the best players in the NFL, to try to do something with that, and you just punted.
Steve from the Borough on the text line says, trading A.J. Brown was a horrible move. We took a big step back. We're definitely not in the Super Bowl window right now unless J-Rob makes some kind of crazy moves coming up here in the draft. Steve from the Borough. I mean, yeah, it does feel that way. I mean, it felt like the Titans anyway were going to be, I don't know what, 4th in the AFC in the pecking order, 5th in the AFC in the pecking order. I mean, I think most people around here still thought there's a pretty good chance that they could win the AFC South. Maybe they still will, because I'm not a huge believer in Matt Ryan, but I guess we'll see in that point. But if you're Indianapolis today, you got to be feeling pretty darn good.
I'm a believer that Matt Ryan's going to slip on an AFC South championship hat in right around early January of 2023. Put me down for that right now. In fact, I'm going to go to the FanDuel Sportsbook and put a lot of money, okay? Just put me down for that. Indianapolis Colts, congratulations.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on the Titans and A.J. Brown on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. The Nashville Predators have officially clinched a playoff spot, and single game tickets for round 1 go on sale and are on sale now. You can find those at Ticketmaster.com. Big win last night for the Predators, by the way, 5-4 in a shootout in Colorado. So big save Dave comes up big last night, and the Preds win in Denver. To get playoff tickets now, all you got to do is join the Loyal Legion with 22-23 season ticket plan. Becoming a season ticket citizen is the only way to guarantee tickets for the entire 22 Stanley Cup playoff run while receiving significant savings off the box office price as well. Visit NashvillePredators.com/playoffs today. Once again, that's NashvillePredators.com/playoffs.
Take us wherever you may go. There is going to be a whole lot of work going on. Shoot us in anywhere, anytime.
I think he has some big play in him.
Just search the game Nashville in your app store and download today. And keep it locked on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
It's the return of Jack White, live in concert. The Supply Chain Issues Tour. This Saturday and Sunday at Ascend Amphitheater. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. The brand new albums from Jack White, Fear of the Dawn, is available now. And Entering Heaven Alive drops July 22nd. Don't miss Jack White. Visit JackWhite3rd.com for more information.
The Ainsworth Nashville has been bringing a sophisticated twist to the classic All-American sports bar, restaurant, and private event experience in Midtown since 2018. Our multi-purpose venue consists of a full-scale restaurant, bar and lounge, and event space. Come for the wings, stay for our happy hour, and visit us for brunch on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We've got the good times to keep you singing all night long. The Ainsworth Nashville. Burgers, cocktails, sports.
Visit the Ainsworth at 206 21st Avenue South in Nashville or online at theainsworth.com.
Don't miss the historic opening of Geodis Park on May 1st as Nashville SC comes home for the first time of the 2022 season. Become a season ticket member starting at only $357 to ensure you are there for the big day. Come on in and grab a seat at nashvillesc.com/22ticks.
Welcome to Allstate, where we bring it all together. And bundling your home and auto is good, right? And it saves you up to 25%. It all comes together. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Bundled savings discounts will vary by state. Saving up to 25% is a countrywide average of savings off the home policy. Combining the multiple policy discount for having auto insurance with Allstate and the welcome discount savings at enrollment.
FanDuel Sportsbook NBA same-game parlays give you the chance to turn a little bet into a big payday. Choose any NBA game and combine multiple bets into one wager for bigger wins. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code PLAY to bet the NBA today. That's promo code PLAY exclusively on FanDuel Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA.
21 plus and present in Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, permitted parishes only. Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, Wyoming, or West Virginia. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, and Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-877-7770-STOP in Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
NASCAR is back. Kyle Larson returns to Nashville Superspeedway a winner.
Nashville's exclusive home for NASCAR.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell media station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in, hour number 2 of Robby and Rexrode. You're on ESPN 1025 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezovic here with you on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Going to have Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter, coming up at 8 o'clock. We'll get his thoughts on A.J. Brown being traded from the Titans to the Philadelphia Eagles. Treylon Burks drafted by the Titans last night at the number 18 overall position. Titans trade out of number 26. They get more picks, including a second-rounder coming up at 35 overall. So John Robinson getting some more picks from the 26th overall pick last night. Treylon Burks, the selection at 18. Taking your thoughts on A.J. Brown on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Chuck texting in says, it happened as I expected. The Titans organization has always been built for 8-8, now 9-8, in hopes of just getting on by luck. They'll never be a go-for-it, all-in team like the Rams. Good luck on selling us on that new stadium now. That's coming from Chuck on the text line.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've seen a few to that effect, like the new stadium. Anytime, but hey, fan base is upset about something. You know, you think about what is something that the organization wants. Well, they want a new stadium. They're going to have a new stadium, so you go to that as a threat. You know, I don't think one has much to do with the other, but I'm just blown away by the people trying to talk themselves into this.
Oh, well, we knew that was going to happen. I mean, look, I've seen about 7 of these so far on the text line, so I'll just pick one of them out. It says, I think everybody's blowing this pick out of proportion. Robert Woods is your new number 1. It was extremely dominant before going down last year. This kid out of Arkansas is no joke, but it still comes down to Ryan Tannehill. I mean, we've gotten a lot of different versions of, hey, y'all forgetting about Robert Woods? I'm not forgetting about Robert Woods. The idea was to have A.J. Brown and Robert Woods together.
Yeah, look, Robert Woods is a really good player. Coming off the ACL, but I expect him to recover. You always do now with ACLs, right? Robert Woods was a really good number 2 receiver with the Rams. Let's remember that, okay? They had the best receiver in the league last year. His name was Cooper Kupp. And Robert Woods was a terrific compliment to him and is a very good player and is a good signing for the Titans. If you think Robert Woods is all of a sudden going to come in here and be this clear, like, number 1 receiver, no, that's not what he is. He's not a dominant number 1 receiver. Robert Woods is not A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown was your number 1 receiver and a bona fide number 1 receiver. And to argue with D-Mace from last night, yeah, he is a number 1 receiver in the NFL. I don't know if he's top, whatever he is, rank him wherever you want him. He's a number 1 receiver on an NFL team and on the vast majority of NFL teams. Robert Woods is not. But like you said, Robbie, even apart from that, comparing those two guys, they were supposed to be together. And I thought they still needed to add a difference maker, potential difference maker in the draft at receiver. And now, I mean, Treylon Burks, I already feel bad for him. And he was excited last night, like he should be. He was awesome. But dude, I mean, the questions, totally natural, what you would expect questions about A.J. Brown comparisons. My God, is he going to be sick of hearing that name by like mid-August? Oh, and wait till, October when he has like 12 catches for 120 yards on the season. And it's just a really unfair situation for him.
I just wonder how it got to this point because, we've heard, we talked about AJ and his relationship with Vrabel and John Robinson. Mostly it seemed pretty good that he had a good relationship between Vrabel and John Robinson and AJ. It's the draft yesterday. I mean, we put our percentage chances out there yesterday of A.J. Brown getting traded. And I think we were both under 1% that he gets traded yesterday. And then he goes off and we know what happens at this point. Like, how did it get so quickly to the point where they just determined that there was a gap big enough that they weren't going to get there? Like, that's the thing I keep going back to is you had time to get this done. Now, if you wanted to get draft picks out of it and you're going to have to get rid of them eventually, then I understand the sense of urgency of getting it done by the draft. That's why we brought that up in terms of getting picks about that in our conversations. But it just seems like there was still plenty of time to work on this if you were John Robinson and the Titans.
I mean, you got 18 and you got a 3rd round pick. What were we batting around? I mean, supposedly the Jets were going to give them half of Manhattan for A.J. Brown. They're going to give them Sbarro Pizza and all the top, landmarks in New York City. But, I don't know what happened with the Jets. Robinson said last night, the Eagles were the best trade partner on this. It's a great question. And one thing I do think about with Robinson and Vrabel is I think that they are, let's see how to put it, probably less tolerant of distracting type stuff, right? Than some GMs would be, some GM coach combinations would be. I mean, Vrabel especially. Vrabel is when something that, like Josh Reynolds, I don't want to be there. Bye, see ya, whatever it is. Like it's quick, and so I do look at the whole situation with Deebo Samuel's mom, which of course, Robinson's like, didn't see anything on the internet. I mean, those guys saw it.
Nothing on Vimeo. Yeah.
Yeah. Vimeo. Yeah. You have to know what's going on. And that looked like the player you're trying to negotiate with airing those negotiations in public. Again, didn't hear his voice, but you had Deebo Samuel's voice, his buddy, his guy who shares the same agent, talking about the numbers. And so I think about things like that, and I wonder if they were just like, I don't like where this is going. They didn't say anything like that last night. They said the gap was too big. They said they couldn't make it work. But I look at things like that and really wonder if they decided that there's a headache coming or headaches coming that they don't want to deal with. And frankly, again, if that's the case, I think they totally screwed this up. someone on the text line is sitting there making Antonio Brown comparisons. I mean, get out of here. Again, GTFO, not Antonio Brown. I mean, it's not comparable in any way. Yes, AJ Brown has got to get off social media and all this stuff. He's been a great teammate, a great guy in this organization. I promise you, if you polled everybody who works for the Tennessee Titans at the moment or even today, most of them are nauseous.
Liam on the text line says, J-Rob has spent up all of his goodwill capital. His butt is now firmly buckled into the hot seat. The window is closed, painted over, and boarded up. There isn't even any light streaming in under the door in this room today. This coming from Liam on the text line. I mean, I would say, we've gotten probably 100 some odd texts at this point since we started the show. If I had to just quick eyeball test, I'd say 75% of them just irate this morning that AJ Brown's gone. And then I think 25% are either trying to talk themselves into it or trying to look on the bright side, which that's fine. If that's what you need to do, there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of upset Titans fans this morning on our text line.
They should be. They should be furious. I'm sorry. And now look, there's a lot of picks today. I've seen a lot of people say, well, let's wait. Let's see who else they pick before you get upset. Well, I promise you something. You can get better, and you need to get better in the next couple of days of the draft. And you get a lot of football players who can help you. But what pick do you suppose is going to happen here the next couple of days that's going to make you say, never mind now. Bye-bye, AJ. All good. No, it's not there. You don't get great players very often in the NFL. You don't, and you really don't draft great players in the second round like this and have this kind of a situation and then depart with them very often in the NFL. Now, the interesting thing today on that front, on the whole, let's just let it play out, is we've talked about it already, but is just the quarterback possibility. Because if that's the case, then the Titans are basically saying it's time for a reset.
Yeah.
They're not going to say that right now. No one wants to come out and say, Titans fans, we're going to be quite a bit worse next year. Hang with us when we're so-so, even though we have an all-time great player running the football for us. And we have a loaded defense that could be one of the best in the NFL. Just hang with us. We might limp into the playoffs as a wild card, probably not. And then, we'll be back with our new quarterback in a couple of years when he's ready to actually play winning football.
Well, that's why George Pickens is pretty intriguing to me. If you've got Burks and Pickens coming in, are either one of those guys going to be A.J. Brown? I don't know. The odds are probably not. I think both those guys could be pretty darn good in the NFL too. So if it's Pickens, maybe that's something that all of a sudden it's Robert Woods, Treylon Burks, George Pickens, and you're feeling a little bit better about yourself. The Jahan Dotson thing. First off, I'm blown away that he went at 16 overall to the Washington Commanders. But
catch radius.
Yeah, the catch radius apparently was too much for people to overcome and just shot him up. Congratulations to Carson Wentz for that. But it's just one of those things where, the receivers, there was the run on receivers last night. My goodness, the Saints traded up to go get Chris Olave at number 11. The run happened on wide receivers last night. And now if you're the Titans and you want one of those high-end guys, I still think, if George Pickens was completely healthy last year, he'd probably be in the discussion of guys that were going yesterday. So I still think there are a couple of good receivers that they can get that can make this pretty interesting, but no question about it. The odds of one of those guys becoming A.J. Brown, not very high.
Imagine me losing my train of thought because I'm just completely out of my mind right now. Now, Pickens could be good, but imagine taking him and then what are you going to do for blocking in front of Ryan Tannehill? Look, you may be able to find, some good value at offensive line, but are there people out there left up front who can be viable starters for you? You need a starter at left guard still. Not sure on right tackle, but you may be prioritizing that too. Need a tight end too, by the way. Right now the offensive line is a big concern. I thought it was going to be addressed last night. And at the same time, I'm with you. If Pickens could be intriguing, and at least it's a wholesale change, and it's you're asking a team to rely on, rookie receiver, good receiver coming off an ACL, but maybe that is a move. That also still feels a little bit more reset like than getting, going offensive line right now and going back to the idea of helping Tannehill as much as possible.
Yeah, but we talked about, you're heading into yesterday, you're going to have 2 picks in the top 90. Now you've got 18 overall, 35, 69, and 90. So you've doubled up the amount of picks that you have.
Yep.
So we'll see how the Titans use that. We got a lot more of your thoughts to get to on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. We'll do that next. Seltzerland, turning Nashville into a hard seltzer paradise tomorrow at Riverside Golf Links. You can enjoy this one-of-a-kind immersive experience as you spend the day tasting over 100 unique hard seltzers, indulge in mouth-watering munchies, tons of seltzer swag, and bust out the gram for the most Insta-worthy moments. Seltzerland has rounded up the best hard seltzer brands in the land for one epic day dedicated to the bubbly brew everyone can't get enough of. Go to thegamenashville.com/contest to enter for your chance to win tickets to Seltzerland. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
If you're on the road between downtown Nashville,
They're still in good shape to make the playoffs.
and I-840,
Players make it clear they don't want to be somewhere anymore.
there's a new way to hear all your favorite shows and sports programming on 102.5 The Game.
I go back to that play and I shake my head. What I was worried about is that they were still just going to keep the goal.
It's 106.3 FM.
Think about all the good Titans teams. This is very much so a run-first offense.
Now you have 2 choices to hear Nashville's best sports talk. Check out 106.3 now and add it as a favorite.
Power buys are back at Northern Tool and Equipment. Get limited time savings on top tools like $150 off their Yellow Jacket 3-ton floor jack or $100 off Metaltech 6-foot Baker-style scaffolding.
Nothing makes one feel better than the ability to give to someone in need. You have the power to give the most important gift of all, the gift of life, with a donation of your blood. Supplies are desperately low in our area, and your help is needed. Blood Assurance is a nonprofit community blood center that supplies our Middle Tennessee area hospitals. Please find it in your heart to donate. Be someone's hero today. Go to bloodassurance.org to find a location or blood drive near you. That's bloodassurance.org. Give blood, give local, save lives with Blood Assurance.
Celebrating mothers everywhere, Electronic Express has what you need to make this the best Mother's Day yet. Spoil mom with brands like Zwilling, KitchenAid, Samsung, LG, Dyson, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department: computers, home theater, housewares, smart home furniture, and more. Plus, save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Shop spring savings at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Step up to the plate with Days Date. As one of the only Delta 8 brands that is truly single-sourced, quality and consistency is our guarantee. We are local and aim to provide the purest product while educating the consumer every step of the way. Stock up with Days next time at your local smoke shop. Visit us on Instagram at days.d8.official to learn more about our wide array of products and special offers. To browse our product line, visit dazed8.com, DAZED, number 8.com, the highest quality standard of Delta 8.
Bring your hive together with Spirited Hive. It's Hive O'Clock. What is Hive O'Clock? It's connecting or celebrating with your hive, a time to be present and create shared memories. At Spirited Hive, we become aficionados discerning what goes best with bourbon, tequila, and vodka in a canned cocktail. Bourbon whiskey with rosemary infused with honey and lemon, tequila ginger infused with honey and lime, or vodka cranberry infused with honey and lime. Available to purchase on reservebar.com or tap room for delivery within the hour. Join us at Spirited Hive on Instagram to see what the buzz is all about.
The Eagles Hotel California Tour.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
Live in concert with a full orchestra.
Take it.
Performing their iconic album Hotel California, beginning to end, plus a greatest hits set. The Eagles.
One of these nights.
Tonight at Bridgestone Arena. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Okay, let's start unloading the sod over here.
The grass is always greener when Haruka's Lawn Care does the mowing.
And then we want to get the flower bed started before lunch.
They need a new landscaping designer to keep their budding business growing.
Oh, can we double check the incline here? This one needs to drain this way.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Robby and Rexrode on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio here with you on this Friday morning, taking your thoughts on A.J. Brown to the Eagles. Very interesting piece by Teron Davenport that just came out. We'll get to that here in just a few minutes. TD coming up at 8 o'clock here on the show as well. Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Kevin in Nashville who wants to weigh in. Kevin, thanks for calling in to Robby and Rexrode.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So, real quick, Joe, don't let the 5% of people out there. I got in the car going to work this morning talking about AB comparisons. Don't even sweat those people. Those are the crazies. So just let that one go. I'm here for you. But then secondly, all right, so when this trade broke, I was upset. I was like, I couldn't believe it. A.J. Brown's been unbelievable for this franchise. But as soon as I saw J-Rob have that big hog leg in and spit in that dip spitter live on ESPN, I knew we were in good shape, baby. And as soon as I saw Treylon Burks pick, I loved it. Why? Did you watch him, Joe, this season? Did you catch him in games?
Absolutely.
Right. Big body, inseam routes. That guy catches the ball. His drop rate's low. He breaks tackles. AJ's been great, so it's hard to project, but I can't think of a closer comparison. We're able to save all that money, get him on a new rookie contract, use that money elsewhere. If there were headaches, we're able to shed those with his agent, fine. And we pick up a second-round pick that can maybe help us in other positions. So for all the 75% of the people going crazy and hating out there, I think if they look at it from a business sense, look at it, take the emotion out of it, and I love the pick. And last thing I'll say is, look, J-Rob he's either been horrible or great. Over the years, the picks that he's had, Henry, Simmons, Byer, Luan, Conklin, all great. Horrible. Julio, that's Farley, we'll see. Evans, Isaiah Wilson, Beasley. But listen, and he's not on the hot seat. Let's get that right. And I'll close with, look, Titans fans, we got a second-round pick. We got a full draft coming up, baby. It's time. Let's go. Tighten up. Have a good
Thanks for the call, Kevin. We appreciate it. Kevin with the sunshine blower approach there, Joe, I'd say.
Well, look.
He makes some good points.
Yeah, and I certainly agree on the hot seat thing. Again, I just, it's the moment, and you're in this press conference, and you're Mike Vrabel, and frankly, you're visibly agitated. Maybe you're just agitated by the media. Maybe you just looked at Kahersky and it just pissed you off. I don't know.
He was just mad you weren't there, Joe.
Maybe that's it. You missed me. I was watching the stream. It was wonderful. I just hate the quote from Vrabel. Quote, unfortunately, we understand that if we're going to be here a while, we're not going to be able to keep every single player we draft and develop. I just Titans fans don't want to hear that, but to the point here, I think some good points are made. And if you're a Titans fan, you got to look at the draft today, and you got to hope that you get some players, that can strengthen the team. And you never know. They're going to have a good defense next year. You can talk yourself into it, and there will be a lot. You know how it is. Anything like this, Josh Heupel gets hired by the Balls. You talk yourself into whatever. And by the way, that worked out way better than I thought too. So I could be way off and dead wrong on this. I think this is going to be looked back on in John Robinson's tenure as one of the biggest mistakes he made.
Go back to the 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Lorenzo from Nashville. Thanks for calling in, Lorenzo. What's going on?
Hey, guys. Hey. So I want to just preface by saying I'm in the 25 percentile. Huge A.J. Brown fan, huge. But the question that I keep asking myself, $25 million a year, which will make him the fourth highest paid receiver in the league. And that's something that's hard to fathom at the moment when you had 63 catches last year. And so, I just think he needed maybe one more year this coming up season to make that. But if Philly want to go ahead and make that happen, make it happen. And we still have Jeffrey Simmons that we still have to pay after next year. We have a lot of holes on the offense, as far as players. So, I hate to see AJ go. Young guy and those Jacksonville market. We got to blame Jacksonville here. But, again, I would just ask all of you on the panel, is Arthur Juan Brown worth $25 million a year? That's what I want to leave it on and see what you all think about that.
Thanks for the call, Renzo. We appreciate it. I mean,
yes.
No, he's not. He's not worth $25 million a year right now based on his production. No, he's not. But he will be.
That's what it is, a 4-year deal. I mean, you make these deals when the time comes, and sometimes you have to project ahead. I mean, this idea that $25 million is some insane number that you can't possibly pay A.J. Brown, I just completely reject, and I'll say it. I don't know what the Titans are going to be next year. I don't know who they're going to pick. Ryan Tannehill may be the best quarterback in the league next year. Derrick Henry may run for 2,300. When A.J. Brown's contract is done, barring some disastrous injury that we can't foresee, $25 million a year will look comically cheap.
Jalen Hurts is his quarterback.
Put me down for it. Well, that's true. Sometimes receivers make quarterbacks better too. I mean, I don't love Jalen Hurts, so that's not ideal. But A.J. Brown as a player, and who knows? I mean, they could be on their third QB by then too, by the way.
They could.
He's going to – he is absolutely – to me, if you want to say right now, last year's production, 869 yards, $25 million, hell no. But this is he's up right now. He's up on his deal. You don't have a fifth-year option. He was a second-round pick, and you have to project toward the future. And I don't see how you project those numbers, him as a player, and say, no, I can't possibly do that. I don't get it at all.
Well, and this is made even more interesting because TD apparently has spoken with A.J. Brown, and we'll have Teron Davenport coming up at 8 o'clock here on the show. And I don't want to give away basically the entire article here, but in this article, A.J. Brown tells ESPN, which is TD, quote, "This wasn't my fault. I wanted to stay, but the deal they offered was a low offer. The deal they offered wasn't even $20 million a year." And TD goes on to say in this piece that the Browns said the Titans offer topped out at $16 million per season with incentives that would have driven the deal up to a $20 million average. That coming from a piece that TD's just put out there. So what do you think of that?
I think it's insane.
16 million per season with incentives that drive the deal up to $20 million.
Some kind of incentive based deal. I mean, I like those. And you have a player who's had some injuries, but again, you had a knee cleanup, you had a shoulder, you had a hamstring for a couple weeks last year. We're not talking about someone who has one chronic injury that you really worry about over a long period of time. I think that's incredibly lowballing a player if what he says is accurate. And good job TD getting him. AJ Brown coming out and saying that on the record is interesting and is not done a ton, but you know what? That to me is more of an indictment of this whole thing.
Well, he also says in this piece, quote, "I would have stayed if they offered me $22 million. That's the quote from AJ Brown. I would have stayed if they offered me $22 million. This coming from AJ Brown. Now, it's easy to say that when you've just signed a $25 million per year contract with 57 guaranteed. So I don't know if that's true, if he would have stayed if they would have offered him $22 million. I think that's something that's very easy to say in the aftermath. But if that is true, that is going to make Titans fans very sick today.
Again, there's information here because, look, I believe John Robinson 100% when he says, you go through this, you try, I'm paraphrasing, but you think about every aspect of something like this, right? I mean, this is his job. It's a very public job, and the emotions of a city often hinge on his job. And there's information we don't have, and I don't know what that is, but that makes me feel more and more like this is them saying, headache, not worth it. And I just think that's a terrible way to look at it.
If that's true, and their best offer was $16 million per year, plus incentives to get it to 20. I guess my question is, like, that seems like if that's the case in these discussions, it seems like your preliminary offer, if you're the Titans, like where you're just starting to get negotiations going. It doesn't seem like that would be a close to what your best offer would be. Like, is A.J. Brown not good enough to where you would want to lay your best offer on the table? Maybe that is their best offer. I don't know.
I don't understand. I mean, my gosh, this makes the Instagram, like the Instagram Debo to his mom thing is like actually optimistic compared to what AJ says happened. What in the I don't get it. I'm at a loss for words.
We'll get to more of your thoughts on the A.J. Brown situation. What do you think of, apparently, according to Teron Davenport's report and conversation with A.J. Brown, the best offer the Titans made was $16 million with incentives to get it to $20 million. 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Speaking of 615-737-1025, I got some tickets to give away to the GMR Grand Prix at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway coming up on Saturday, May 14th. Be caller number 5, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Caller number 5 will win a pair of tickets to the GMR Grand Prix at Indianapolis Motor Speedway coming up on Saturday, May 14th. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 6, we go behind the glass with current and former Predators players, along with coaches and broadcasters for Nashville Live.
Yost, Hal, and I were just talking about last night's game. It was a big game for us.
Presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and the Nashville SC Stadium nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Grab a seat at nashvillesc.com/22ticks.
This is Chef John from Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville. Invite you to come join us for breakfast and lunch. We are offering some exciting new menu items. For breakfast, we have a smoked prime rib hash. Comes with a sunny side up egg, hominy, caramelized onions. It's a great start to your day. We are featuring a sourdough pancake made with a sourdough bread starter. It's a fun spin on the classic buttermilk pancake. As always, Kitchen Notes is serving biscuits all day. Come join us and create a memorable experience here at the Omni Hotel. Food is all about memories for us. We'd like you to start a new memory here at Kitchen Notes in the Omni Hotel.
Breakfast at Kitchen Notes in the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Parman is now hiring and seeking qualified candidates for construction equipment truck drivers, service technicians, and more. Apply at parmantractor.com or call 615-865-7800. Come be an employee owner with the Parman team, your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer.
The metal tour of the year. Megadeth, Lamb of God, with special guests, Trivium and In Flames. Friday, May 6th, Bridgestone Arena. 4 of metal's biggest artists share the stage for one epic night. This is a buck-up. On sale now. Buy tickets at livenation.com. Megadeth, Lamb of God, with special guests, Trivium and In Flames.
The year was 1919. Barbasol shaving cream was invented by a dreamer named Frank Shields. The world's first modern shave cream, Barbasol changed the face of shaving forever. A few billion shaves later, Frank's dream lives on. Behind every face is a dream. Barbasol proudly salutes every fearless, self-assured, wide-eyed dreamer all across America. Celebrating 100 years. Barbasol.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
The minute you step behind the wheel of an all-new Toyota Tundra TRD Pro, you'll know it was made to make a statement, because it's a beast. Equipped with a 437-horsepower iForce Max hybrid engine made for making power moves. Plus, available cockpit red interior with a technical camo pattern made to deliver a red carpet-like experience. Not to mention an in-grille LED light bar made to make you stand out from the crowd. The all-new Tundra TRD Pro, made to make a statement. Toyota, let's go places.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is David Price. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Well, there's a lot of things that we can't anticipate. I just am confident that we went to the extreme to try to keep AJ here. I mean, I was involved with the process through the entire time. So, you know, we're going to continue to, you know, coach our guys, develop them. You know, try to, you know, make it about the team. And, you know, this is just another example of making tough decisions that, you know, hopefully in the long run, it's going to make our team better. I know that it probably doesn't get received by that publicly, but, you know, this was a difficult process to get through. And, you know, I know what the gap that we had to bridge was. This wasn't, you know, this wasn't easy.
That was Mike Vrabel last night at the press conference after the draft, discussing A.J. Brown's situation and the negotiations between the Titans and A.J. Brown. What'd you make of those comments by Vrabel, especially in light of what TD has just come out with? By the way, TD coming up at 8 o'clock here on the show today. And according to TD's report, A.J. Brown says they offered him $16 million a year with the incentives to drive the deal up to $20 million. So what did you think of that from Vrabel last night in terms of he was there, he saw it, and the gap was just too big to bridge at that point? It says the Titans went to the extreme to get A.J. Brown back here.
I mean, I guess, did he mean we went to the extreme in lowballing A.J. Brown? I mean, this is some serious lowballing that we tried to do, and by golly, that's extreme. Look, A.J. Brown said what he said. The Titans are not going to go back and forth on this.
Right.
I mean, I'd love for them to do that. I'd love another. Well, there will be another press conference today after they make picks, so this can come back up. Vrabel, by the way, said he was asked if Tannehill's around. He said, you know, if I talk Monday, you know, I'll let you guys know. I'm sure that they'll be calling a press conference for an update on Tannehill's whereabouts, but that just doesn't sound very extreme in all seriousness. If AJ Brown claims he would have taken 22, it doesn't sound very extreme. I suppose the Debo.
Now, look, let's just stop that though right there. I don't believe AJ Brown when he says that. It's easy to say that when you have a $25 million a year contract. So I don't put any stock into AJ Brown. Say, well, I would have stayed for 22. Yeah, it's great. You just signed a contract with the Eagles. So screw that. I don't believe that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that he actually loved being here. I think he loved the team. I think he loved the city. I think he had a good chemistry with Tannehill.
My point is, it's so easy to say, well, I would have stayed for this after you're already gone and you signed another contract.
That's fine. But do you think he's lying about what he said the Titans offered? He might be.
Oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know about all that. I'm just saying I would have stayed. Okay, maybe he is telling the truth, but to me, it's so easy to say, well, I would have stayed for this after the situation is already done.
Yeah, but let's also remember, he didn't do anything. He didn't go. He can't stay. It wasn't up to him. It was up to the Tennessee Titans to trade him, which they did stupidly. So I want to know if on the text line, if it's true, and I've lost it because it's just going nuts, that the Titans were booed at the fan thing last night. Anyone else? I mean, this could just be a random, like, rogue texter, like foot fetisher, who's just like giving weird stuff on the text line. But I said in response, I said, well, do you have video? Is this true? Is this verified? that the season ticket holder event involved booing and some people leaving early.
I don't know. I've not seen video of that, but would love to if there is video of that. Rob on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, says, I hate that you are all on AJ's side. Way to bring the morale down even more, boys. Is it possible AJ is not being honest? What do you mean bringing the morale down? They traded AJ freaking Brown. What are you talking about?
Well, you've got, and again,
I can't handle stupid text today. So let's not do that, please.
Well, there's some text in it. And again, this is like, I mean, it's like any fan base, you can kind of like, okay, this percentage, there's some people are going to complain about everything. There's some people that are like, and we had a text, again, I can't keep up with them, but to the effect of the fan's job, the fan means fanatic. The fan's job is to get excited about everything and support it. Let's go. Let's draft some guys. And that's fine. If that's how you want to approach this, approach it that way. If that's what your outlook is, you probably have like your daily life is probably like more enjoyable if everything's okay. And like, yay, it's fine. It'll be okay. Now you may be taken advantage of in some ways too, but I don't want to take this to like some commentary on your life, but there's sunshine blowers who are going to be like, hey, come on, like just get behind this. But also if you're a fan who's really pissed off today and is just furious at John Robinson and Mike Vrabel and the Titans and are thinking, gosh, there's no way this team is going to be a contender or, a legit team that could make another run or win the division or get a 1 seed. And they just traded away the most talented receiver they've ever had in the franchise history. And you're furious. That's okay too. So just, all outlooks are fine, but this idea that fans must blindly just support whatever move that your team makes. No, I mean, that's you don't have to do that.
And your football team is objectively worse today. Like, is there really an argument that somebody's going to make to me that the Titans are they're a better football team today? Like, is that going to happen?
Yeah, and then we'll get the Trebo on Twitter. Of course, at Joe Rexrode knows better than J-Rob and Vrabes. Does 1025 the game need 2 Stillmans? Hey, that's fine. That's fine. Look, things happen and you react to them. I think the Titans have made a grave mistake here. You're welcome to think otherwise.
Because we know that, hey, nothing is they can never do anything wrong, Vrabel and Robinson. General managers and coaches never mess up.
I mean, look, here's the thing. If A.J. Brown is lying about any of that, and again, I hear you on the point, like, oh, I would have done that. Yeah, you're right. It's easy to say in retrospect. But if he's lying about what they offered him, which, by the way, again, you don't see this too often. I mean, A.J. Brown, and I guess this, if you want to look at it from the positive or like try to find the bright side of this, you could say A.J. Brown saying what he did to TD is kind of an example of maybe headaches that those guys are worried about. So I get that. But again, it's also right after this huge life-changing trade, right? But I think the Titans should come out and say, no, that's not true if it's not true. I know they don't want to get into a thing like that, and I doubt Robinson will today, but that's a pretty damning bit of information he gave TD.
Yeah. I mean, what is the Titans fan reaction? Because like you said, I doubt very seriously the Titans are just going to go back and forth in the media. Well, no, our best offer was $20 million, then incentives to get it to 24. Like, that's not going to happen with the Titans. So, I mean, the public opinion, I would imagine today, when they see these comments from A.J. Brown, they're going to say, really? The best offer you had for A.J. Brown was $16 million a season with incentives to get it to 20? Are you kidding me? It's they're not going to win that battle in the public.
No, and I don't expect John Robinson to say, here's what it was. But if it's not true, you can say it's not true. You can do that. Real quick on the text, I know we have to go to break. Best receiver in franchise history, LOL. I guess you forgot about the guy that works at your station. I think A.J. Brown is the most talented, the most talented receiver in franchise history. He didn't produce what Derek Mason did. I totally agree with you. I mean, actually, if you want to talk about best receivers, you can go Moss and Julio Jones and all this stuff too. But meanwhile, my grandma's phone is ringing off the hook, so I'm going to mute myself.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on A.J. Brown and the Titans on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 1025. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game. But let me tell you about my friends at FanDuel Sportsbook. The playoffs are rolling on, and you can make every game feel like Game 7 on FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. Throughout the playoffs, all customers can place a no-sweat same-game parlay every single week. You'll get up to $20 in free bets if you don't win. And FanDuel has so many different ways to play. And best of all, when you do win, you'll get paid faster than a fast break. Game 6 tonight between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think Memphis gets it done. I think they close it out tonight in Game 6. Give me Ja Morant over on points as well. But you take it any way you want to take it. If you're new to FanDuel, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Sign up with promo code ROB to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Once again, that promo code is ROB. Either way, you'll get up to $20 in free bets if your same-game parlay during the playoffs doesn't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. A max free bet of $20 per week. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Every Wednesday at 5, join us for Jared versus Joe as they debate all of the big topics in sports, presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment and Mayweather Boxing and Fitness on ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Another mild start this morning with temperatures in the 50s. A couple isolated showers will be possible today, but we're mainly looking at partly cloudy skies with highs in the 80s.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Pro Golf is back in Middle Tennessee. Mark your calendars for the Simmons Bank Open, May 5th through 8th. You can see the next wave of PGA Tour stars. Be sure to visit the Sand Trap at the 14th hole and check out great local food trucks, including Hattie B's, Hogwood Barbecue, Dream Burger, Padrino Pops, cocktails from Jack Daniels, and try the Sand Trap Cream Ale from New Heights Brewing Company. Purchase your tickets now at SimmonsBankOpen.com.
Golfers, swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the new Ping I-525 irons and Glide 4.0 wedges. The Ping I-525 irons have a forged steel face, allowing for dynamic distance and a greater feel. The next generation Glide 4.0 specialty wedges are engineered for high spin performance with a lower launch. Get a free custom fitting today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands, including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
Darren McFarland.
That should get you in the mood for a game tonight.
Willie Donick.
I think between 5.5 and 6 is probably in the ballpark.
Chase McCabe.
Typically, I like to take the most difficult task and do it first.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 1025 The Game.
A defensive coach in the SEC just texted me and said, why did the Titans trade AJ to draft AJ?
Save money.
Yeah, cheaper money. Here's my theory on it. They didn't want to deal with AJ's attitude.
No.
That's what they did not want to deal with AJ's attitude.
Nope.
It's one thing if I got to pay you. It's another thing if I have to worry about your injuries. But if I got to deal with your freaking attitude when I'm trying to give you $20 million a year and you're not interested in it, now that's too much for me to deal with. That's all I can come up with.
The only thing I'm concerned about is what J-Rob said. He said he's our guy. We love him. And, Vrabel said the exact same thing.
But when it comes down to what's better for the team, I think they went with Treylon Burks.
I'm just shocked.
I'm shocked there. I mean,
you know what's crazy? This is maybe the biggest Patriot Way decision the Titans have made.
100%.
Since John Robinson became the general manager and they bring in Mike Vrabel to coach. My bad. I think I'm on your leg or something like that.
Sorry.
But since they did this,
Wow.
since they went with Vrabel and Robinson, the Patriot, this is the most Patriot Way move that they've made, which is just discard the guy and go get the next one. And that's what they've done with this.
That was Jared and the guys last night on our draft show. D-Mace was there, Chris Sanders was there, TD was there as well. It's funny, like TD went through a stretch where all he could basically say was, man, I'm shocked. I don't even know what to do right now. Just crazy in live time last night as the Titans trade A.J. Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles. Joe, what do you make of the Patriot Way stuff there? I've seen that a few times on our text line today, which is one texter pointed out, yeah, the Patriot Way is fine when you have Tom Brady as your quarterback, and that's not necessarily the case the Titans are in.
That's well, you just stole my line. That's my line. Yep, that's exactly the first thing that comes to mind. It's much, much easier to go about things that way when you have Tom Brady at quarterback. And look, there's a lot of moves the Patriots made over the years that proved to be wise. There are other moves John Robinson has done. I mean, I think of Jarrell Casey getting out in front of players as they're early in the stage of diminishing and cutting your losses and getting younger. I mean, it's a good approach. But A.J. Brown is 24 and he's it's just that. So what Jared is doing there is what I think a lot of Titans fans are I've seen it and will continue to see it, trying to talk themselves into this with the attitude thing. And it actually reminds me a little bit of the Julio Jones situation, which is when he came here, and we can all agree that it didn't work out with Julio Jones at all, right? And by the way, there's a John Robinson move I fully celebrated. And I liked it. It was this is the window, go for it. And it didn't work out. But one of the big knocks on Julio was, locker room and watch out, and the coaches and attitude. Julio, and I know that like Jared got from a source about something about this trick play didn't run or whatever. But the bottom line is Julio Jones' big issue there was with management, was because of money. It was about that. I defy anyone to show me any example of A.J. Brown being anything but a great teammate or positive force in the Titans locker room. You won't find anyone. Okay, he's mad at Robinson because of the money situation. And by the way, if he's remotely accurate in what he told Teron Davenport, he should be mad. It's just so, there's going to be a bunch of talking yourself into A.J. Brown and attitude. And I understand not wanting things like this aired. I do. But that's not, I mean, you work with that. You deal with that. You build on the relationship you've built with him since you drafted him. You hang in there, and you ultimately get a deal done, and you keep a great player.
Well, the bottom line is, like, yes, I think he's a great teammate, all that stuff. And that's separate from the social media part of this. Like, that's what people are talking about when they talk about this stuff is the social media. And we've talked about the social media game with A.J. Brown this goes back to the beginning of the season when he was getting into it with Kaharski at training camp about stuff. I mean, the social media part of this has been something with A.J. Brown for a while now. So is that some big distraction in the locker room? I don't think so. Like, I just think that's a guy on social media doing his thing. But that part of it is pretty annoying and was pretty funny to watch from A.J. Brown. But that to me does not mean that he's some, big diva, bad teammate or anything like that. Like, those are two separate things in my mind.
Vrabel got really upset last night, and I give Buck credit for asking the question. I think it's a very good one, and I think it's an obvious one, which is, how do you think your locker room's going to look at this? Now, it's pro sports, it's the NFL, man, and everybody's got to know the score. Everybody knows that. Snap your finger, you're cut. Boom, you're out of here. This is how it goes. But I guarantee you they got a pissed off locker room right now because this happened. And again, it's no knock or comment on Treylon Burks at all. But the Titans all know in that locker room that they are worse today for this and that they've lost. We'll see what happens, but they lost what I believe will be a clear top 10 receiver in the NFL over a few years. A guy whose deal, is comparable to Stephon Diggs. And right now he doesn't have the production, but by the end of it, the Brown deal is going to look way better than the Diggs deal when Diggs is 33 and Brown's 28. And you overcome that because you got to be a pro. But it is a good question right now. Like, what are you saying, not just to the fans, but what are you saying to the players in your locker room about what you think next year's team is and can be?
A great question. And I do wonder, the Tannehill part of this is one thing because obviously he's probably not happy today. I think most Titans fans' response to Ryan Tannehill not being happy today is, yeah, get it. Tell me about it, buddy. They're probably not very much sympathy with Ryan Tannehill today. But like if you're Derrick Henry or if you're Taylor Lewan, I mean, heck, on the other side of the ball, if you're Kevin Byard, like how are you feeling today? Yeah, I mean, I think there's room to be excited about Treylon Burks and also be like, oh my gosh, we just let arguably our best, probably second best football player walk out the door. I still think like everybody's trying to say there's a lot of, AJ Brown's our best football player. Like some guy named Derrick Henry still exists. So I'll go with him as their best football player. But your top 2 or 3 best football player just went out the door last night.
Yeah. You got 3 guys on this team who, to me, are of the talent level and of the level of everything you're looking for who could be in Canton. It's Derrick Henry, it's Jeffrey Simmons, and it's A.J. Brown. And you just knocked out 33.333% of that. So congratulations. By the way, someone on Twitter just said that they claimed that, yes, that they had a friend who was there and there was booing at the Titans fan event last night. I tipped the cap to those fans because those events are not meant to be booing events, okay? No, they're not at all. Those events are absolutely glad-handing, and this is the Sunshine Blowers Club of America. I mean, they are not booing events. You could maybe in Philly, like speaking of, AJ is going to a different fan base type situation, by the way.
Wow.
But that's not what those are supposed to be. So that should tell you a little bit of something. And also on Twitter, if you don't follow Big Joe on the Go, you might want to see the tweet that he sent out last night. I just saw it for the first time. Oh,
J-Rob?
Good Lord. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible. Robert in Nashville on the text line says, was watching the Preds game last night. Did I miss anything exciting with the draft? That's coming from Robert in Nashville. We're going to get to TD here in just a couple of minutes. But, Joe, real quickly, I do want to bring up the Preds. They win last night in Colorado. They're down 3-1 in the game, and it was looking rough with David Riddick in net, but they respond. They figure it out. They come back, tie the game 4-4, and then in overtime they get it done in the shootout. So the Preds waltz into Denver last night, and with David Riddick in goal, come away with 2 points. What do you think of that?
I mean, all through all this stuff, I got this game streaming on my phone. I'm like, what is going on here? I thought David Riddick was about to give up 12 goals last night. The first period, he just looking around. There's the puck in the back. Oh my God, David Riddick, what a disaster! And it turns out he's like the Nashville sports hero of last night. We can't even talk about him because of what's going on. Incredible. What is happening? Tell me. I don't know.
He gave it was a heck of a celebration when they won in that shootout too. I mean, it was the old one skate fist pump crank. That was a big win. And now, if you're the Preds tonight, all you got to do is get a point against Arizona. And your wild card 1 against Calgary. I will say, though, obviously, I still think you'd rather take your chances with Calgary than Colorado. They played Colorado well last night. They got pushed around in that first period, and their response after that was really good. I mean, Roman Yossi's goal was just freaking absurd last night, and it was a nice illustration of Makar and Josi head-to-head last night. Makar doing his thing, scores the first goal of the game, and Josi goes coast to coast on the power play on a ridiculous goal. But that's a heck of a win last night from the Predators. And now 1 point tonight, and you are wild card 1.
Yeah, and it's like, but wait a minute. Maybe you do want the Avs? No. I say no. I think earning Calgary is worthwhile, but they do have a knack against that team, don't they?
They sure do. We'll have Terry Crisp coming up at 8:30. We'll get his thoughts on the Predators as well. Coming up next, we'll be joined by TD, Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter. We'll get his thoughts on A.J. Brown, Treylon Burks, and a wild night for the Tennessee Titans. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Your speaker at home is so smart that even Alexa knows where to find Nashville's best sports talk.
102.5 The Game is Nashville's best sports talk.
Ask Alexa to enable 102.5 The Game. Once enabled, ask Alexa to play 102.5 The Game.
Welcome to 102.5 The Game.
We are Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game. Time for the Preds Report.
Presented by Newton Nissan.
The Nashville Predators had several two-goal deficits as they faced the Colorado Avalanche last night. And yet they came back, forcing a tie with a goal by Matthias Ekholm in the third period. They went through a scoreless overtime, and then in the shootout, it was an ex-Av who had the decisive score. Duchesne picks up the puck, comes in toward the net, he scores! Matt Duchesne puts the Predators up 1-0. Matt Duchesne with the shootout goal. Predators pick up the victory 5-4 over Colorado. In Colorado this season, now 1-1, overall 3-1 over the course of the year. Tonight, the Predators take on Arizona, 8:30 pregame, 9:30 faceoff.
All the best car deals in Smashville start at Newton Nissan. Visit them at Newton Nissan of Gallatin or Newton Nissan South in Shelbyville.
This is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now, 615-576-5000.
Realizing Geico's great service and licensed agents are available at your fingertips is like realizing the plastic piece that comes with your pizza isn't a tiny doll table. It's to keep the box from touching the pizza.
Hey, the pizza's stuck to the box. Where's that little plastic thing?
Dolly needed it for her tea party.
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or how your smartphone charges faster when you put it on airplane mode.
Wow, what if I put it on rocket mode?
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico's industry-leading app lets you pay your bill, file a claim, manage your policy, or summon help when you need it. Or how those holes in your shower caddy are there so you can store your shampoo bottles upside down.
Showers happen fast when you're not waiting on shampoo.
Great service. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Do I need Medicare when I turn 65, or can I wait?
With more than 70 years of experience helping Tennesseans, Farm Bureau Health Plans can answer all your questions about Medicare.
Part A, B, C, D, it's all alphabet soup to me.
So if you're looking for an affordable way to cover the gaps left by Medicare or protection from the high cost of prescription drugs, you can plan on us to make it easy. Find out more at fbhp.com. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in, hour number 3 of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezevich here with you on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. And we go to our 1025 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in our friend Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter and host of Talking with TD. TD, a part of our draft night coverage last night as well. TD, what's going on?
Hey, good morning. What's going on, fellas? A crazy, crazy day last night, right?
I don't think there's any question about that, man.
Not much happening.
Just some wild stuff last night. So, TD, let's just start there. Now that I guess the dust is starting to settle a little bit, what's your reaction to the Titans actually making the decision to trade A.J. Brown?
Well, really what it came down to is they got younger and cheaper at the same position. What is that? The NFL way. And I think that's really what it boils down to. There was, a number that A.J. was trying to get to, a number that the Titans wanted to stay with, and it just wasn't coming to an agreement. And so, the Titans reacted. This is something that I talked about on the air last week. I felt that a deal had to be done by draft day. And it turns out, that thought was right. And, they had to do what they felt they had to do. So, that's really the way I look at it. Is it being great around Ryan Tannehill? I don't know. We'll see what that plan continues to be when they pick at 35 today.
Well, TD, you talked to A.J. Brown, and great job with that. Great piece today at ESPN.com. And frankly, I was already, what's the word? I'd say outraged, because I think this is incredibly stupid. But then I read what A.J. Brown told you, and I know there's always this side and that side, and we're not going to have John Robinson weigh in and say, no, actually these are the numbers, or this is what we thought. But I'm sorry, I read your story, and I feel more that way. I look at the receiver market, I look at what A.J. Brown is, not just can be, but is already, and I feel like the deal he got with the Eagles, I think that would be a team-friendly deal when he's done. I'm not even asking you a question. I'm just blabbing like I have all day. Make this make sense, TD.
Well, Howie Roseman has kind of dug his stance in the ground and said that, they're devoted, they're committed to Jalen Hurts. And I love the fact that they did that he said that. Now, we've learned recently that you can't really take anything that these guys say and have it like word is bond. You know what I mean? Because things could change quickly. But I think this move has that affirmation of Jalen Hurts all over it. Why? Well, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are very close friends. And this goes back to when Brown was coming out of high school. Jalen Hurts worked really hard to get Brown to attend Alabama. AJ almost did that, but he and DK Metcalf, they made that commitment together to go to Ole Miss. And, the rest is history. But you look at Jalen Hurts' draft party, you look at A.J. Brown's draft party. Those guys were together. I posted a picture on Twitter of these guys together when they were, in high school days. You know what I mean? Like, it's been that way. So this move was going out and getting Jalen Hurts exactly what he wanted. And I think when you look at what the Eagles do, a lot of RPOs, it's a perfect fit for them. I just think, and I told AJ this when I talked to him last night, I said, listen, that market is different. Like, you have to make sure that you're not as concerned with the way people think about you, because they're going to love you, but they're going to love you hard, and there's going to be a lot of criticism.
Ron Davenport on with us here on Robby and Rexrode. So, TD, obviously I heard you guys last night on the draft show and reacting to this in real time. And we were having conversations about this before A.J. Brown got traded in terms of the rest of the AFC with Russell Wilson coming in, all the moves that have been made as to where exactly the Titans fit in the pecking order. Now that they've lost their best wide receiver, is the Titans' window to win shut? Where do you think they fit in right now in the AFC?
Well, I don't know that I put this team against that Bengals team that boosted their offensive line. I don't know that I put them against, a lot of these teams. So I would say they've fallen out of, in my opinion, the top 5 teams. Like, I don't think they're a top 5 team anymore. But, I mean, one thing about this coaching staff, and Chris Sanders, was kind of the voice of reason last night. One thing about this staff is they found ways to win without big-time players. But here's the thing. They're 12-5 last year. They were 11-2 with A.J. in the lineup. So they haven't really found a way to win without A.J. Brown. So, man, there is so much pressure on Treylon Burks. There's so much pressure on Robert Woods to get back. I mean, that's really the way I look at it. And I don't have them. I mean, I don't even know that I would put them on top of the AFC South anymore. I think they're kind of neck and neck with the Colts.
I got Matt Ryan putting on his AFC South champions hat in early January right now. Lock it. Well, okay, don't lock it, but that's what I think is going to happen, TD. I don't think they're the best team in the division anymore. We don't know how the rest of the draft's going to go, which, by the way, they do load up on picks. They've got 35 today. I mean, it's just right now I feel like it's still sort of, you could go one of two ways. You could go get another receiver. You could start bolstering that offensive line, which you badly need to do. And you could still sell this as trying to be great around Ryan Tannehill, other than, taking away his best receiver. But still trying to be as good as possible next year, even in light of this circumstance. Or you could go quarterback. I mean, what do you think they do at 35 today?
There's a lot of directions. You could go tight end too, right? With Trey McBride, you could do that. So there's a lot of directions. They're in a position to where they could very well go quarterback, because the Bucs aren't taking a quarterback, right? And it's very that leaves one of the two, right? Desmond Ridder or Malik Willis. So I think a quarterback is very much in play. This is a manufactured pick, right? They weren't supposed to be picking until 90. Now they're at 35 and 69, and then 90. So yeah, this could very well, and I think it's very possible for it to be a quarterback. Outside of that, I mean, you still have Sky Moore, you have George Pickens on the clock, so on the board rather. So it could be that direction too. I mean, there's a multitude of ways it could go, honestly.
So TD, A.J. Brown aside, and you mentioned the pressure that's going to come along with it for Treylon Burks, but what do you think of the pick itself for the Titans snagging Burks at 18 overall?
I mean, I think it fits what they want to do. I felt Burks was one of the best fits, even with A.J. Brown on the roster, just because, they want big physical players that win combat catches. A.J. Brown was a sturdy guy that defenders bounced off of. He got them the free yards, and Burks does the same thing. I think it's a good pick. You look at the 9.4 yards after the catch that he averaged. That was 7th in the FBS. And you also look at, just like I said, the ability to get those free yards. It's a good pick for the Titans. It's just unfortunate that it's going to be overshadowed by A.J. Brown, being traded away. And here Burks is, he's going to always be compared to A.J. Brown.
Couldn't agree more. I like him a lot as a player. I thought he was awesome last night, in the Zoom. Fans are going to love Treylon Burks. But the problem is it's just such a difficult situation for him to step into. And, he's going to be so sick of hearing about A.J. Brown, which I'll totally understand, but it's going to happen. And it's a tough spot. So TD, Mike Vrabel to me is one of those guys who, there's some emotion on sleeve with him. And I think it's kind of like, if you just showed me demeanor and tone and a presser without knowing context, I could probably tell you what happened in like the game that just preceded that press conference. So maybe I'm taking a little bit of a leap here, but Mike Vrabel last night, and of course I'm watching streaming from Florida, but as I watched the presser and all the good questions that were asked, he looked like a guy who just lost a big game. I understand he says all the right things, but you tell me what you think. Do you think Mike Vrabel was on board with this? Do you think he's upset by this? What about the fact that he said, not as long as I'm coach, 10 days ago or whatever?
I think both things are true. I think he was on board with it because, they had a number. The team, the organization had a number, and they weren't going beyond it. You know what I mean? But he's upset because he really loves AJ, and he knows that, AJ Brown was a key to their success. So I think both things can very well exist, and that is the case with Coach Vrabel and his thoughts. I mean, did you see how in the video on NFL Network where he got up and walked, like he had to take a breather, like, yo, man, So it lets you know, like you said, you could tell personal behavior, not behavior, but reactions. Like you could tell that it did bother him.
Well, TD, certainly a wild night for the Tennessee Titans last night. Thanks for being a part of it. Thanks for being taking some time to be with us this morning. Great job on reporting, and we appreciate you. Have fun this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you guys, and take it easy. It's going to be another wild ride today.
Yep, I don't think there's any question about that. Teron Davenport, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode, joins us every Friday morning on Robby and Rexrode at 8 o'clock. We'll continue to take your thoughts on the Titans and A.J. Brown on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Your Nashville Predators are in the 2022 Stanley Cup playoffs, and we need you at Bridgestone Arena. Preds got a big win last night against Colorado. They'll go for the wild card 1 spot tonight as they take on the Arizona Coyotes. And round 1 playoff tickets are on sale now at NashvillePredators.com/tickets. These are the games that you don't want to miss. Epic goals, massive wins, and historic moments. You can visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets to be there for all the action. Stand with us, Smashville, and paint the town Preds. Once again, that's NashvillePredators.com/tickets.
Tune in every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. for Nashville's own Jason Fitz with Jarrett Stillman and company. Fitz started his sports talk career right here on 102.5 The Game, and now he anchors shows for ESPN. Jason Fitz is brought to you by Blood Assurance. Give blood. Give local. Give life.
Discover matches all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year. Automatically. Discover. Something brighter. Learn more at discover.com/match.
Family Leisure invites you to vacation at home with your family with a new spa, pool, patio furniture, or wood play gym this summer.
I really want a spa.
Family Leisure has 40 spas on display from 3 of the biggest brand names: Artesian, Best Spas, and American Select. Prices starting as low as $29.99.
What about above ground pools?
Family Leisure has hundreds of pools in stock and on sale. Guaranteed installation before Memorial Day, starting as low as $29.99. Installed.
Wow, that's great.
If you're looking at a spa, I want some new patio furniture. Family Leisure has patio furniture from all the big brand names like Hanneman, Woodard, Jensen, and Apricity. There's more than 100 sets on display to choose from with free delivery.
That sounds good to me too. And maybe a new Sabre infrared grill to go with it?
We really should look at the wood play gym for the kids. Family Leisure has the Diamond Point swing set on sale at only $24.99 installed. It's Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale going on now at both huge locations, Franklin and Antioch.
Erectile dysfunction ruins sex, but it's more than that. It harms otherwise good relationships. It destroys marriages. It can cause depression and anxiety, and it can be extremely hard on a man's self-esteem. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if you're suffering with ED, if it's affecting you, I want you to know that if you're like most men, we can treat it and get you back to the man you used to be. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we're ED experts. Our protocols have success rates as high as 90%. We've successfully treated thousands of men in the Music City, and we have a variety of treatment options and treatment combinations that could have you performing like you haven't in years. You could even last up to an hour and experience great sex again that is satisfying for both you and your partner. In treating your health, expertise matters, so make an appointment today. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments extra, results vary.
In the know, I'm Andy Solomon. Baseball lovers, ever dreamed of playing as Babe Ruth, Randy Johnson, and other legends? You can in MLB The Show 22. Stephen Haas, live services lead for San Diego studio, has the details.
Baseball is back with MLB The Show 22. This year's game features a century's worth of baseball legends like Randy Johnson, Ryan Howard, and Joe Mauer, with many others added throughout the year. Players this season will experience faster, deeper, and more intense moment-to-moment action, whether they're a rookie or a vet.
And that's not all.
It's our biggest, best-looking, best-playing season yet. Craft the perfect team in Diamond Dynasty, then round up your friends and combine your card collections with our brand-new online co-op mode. Tailor your experience with 2 new beginner-friendly difficulty settings, and whether you're on PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo Switch, thanks to crossplay, you can compete across platforms.
Learn more at theshow.com.
Interact with Robby and Rexrode. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
On ESPN 1025, the game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament benefiting Folds of Honor coming up on May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. You can put your team together and come play with athletes, musicians, and other local celebrities. Sign up at thegamenashville.com/golf. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Make sure you join the Preds Bud Light Watch Party tonight at Headquarters Beercade. Come enjoy great drink specials and watch the Preds take on the Arizona Coyotes. It's the Preds Bud Light Watch Party at Headquarters Beercade, located at 114 2nd Avenue South downtown. Puck drops at 9:30 tonight. We'll have Terry Crisp coming up here at 8:30. Right now, taking your thoughts on A.J. Brown and the Titans on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Got a texter that says, just another one of John Robinson's first or second round picks that didn't make it past their first contract. Is coming from a texter. That is true. I got to say, I didn't think that'd be the case with A.J. Brown.
No. And some people look at this like, well, you had to choose between Simmons and Brown. No, you didn't. No, you didn't have to make that choice. You want both of them. I think my favorite one today, again, if you're a Titans fan who's like, hey, I like this, get younger, AJ, whatever, injuries. I mean, I'm seeing like double knee surgery. He had his knees cleaned out, man. Let's make sure we have that accurate. But if that's your opinion, fine.
I love to get younger from the 24-year-old, but yes, continue.
Right. Yeah. But cheaper. That's fine.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. I mean, if you just keep going young. You got great players, just go young. No, don't pay anybody. But I think my favorite thing is here's at Malaki1 on Twitter says, respectfully, you don't know if this was a mistake or not. Let's let them play a couple seasons and then we'll know. Well, let's just never comment on anything then. I think that everything that happens, we should just sit here and say, let's just wait. Could be good, could be bad. That'd be a great way to stay employed, wouldn't it?
Joe, would you like to stop talking about the Titans until we know what their final record will be this year?
At the end of time. I want to know, when football finally ends, then I will comment from the grave on the Titans. Meanwhile, by the way, here in Venice, Florida, Katie Rexrode, a few minutes ago, I was like, why are you yelling? He's over here working on my grandma's porch. I'm sorry, it's a 4-hour rant. I don't know what to tell you.
It really is. The whole show, it's just the rant. Yeah. Robby and Rexrode rant today.
Yeah.
Robbie's doing a much better job of keeping it together.
Sometimes. LD from McMinnville on the text line says, it looks like a lot of the same fans upset about the trade are the same fans that gave Tannehill a pass. This coming from LD. I knew we'd get back to Tannehill at some point. Thank you, LD. Well done.
I can't even wrap my mind around. Wait, what? Somehow so if you're mad about this, you love Tannehill? Is that what we're saying?
That some people that are mad, we're not mad enough about Tannehill, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. Tyler on the text line says, did y'all see Vrabel's awkward reaction when asked if Ryan Tannehill was here right now? He looked like a deer in headlights. I don't know if I'd say he looked like a deer in headlights. He looked like he was just mad at the world, I thought.
Yeah. Well, he did offer to provide an update at an unscheduled Monday press conference that I look forward to.
I'm sure he'll be all over that.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll be or maybe at least tweet out a video hugging Tannehill. I'm sure I actually need a Tannehill sarcastic Insta post or tweet today. Yeah. I need something from Tannehill.
Celsius ad. Yeah.
Yeah. Tannehill getting into a rocket ship toward the moon. He's on one of Jeff Bezos's spaceships. Get the hell off the planet.
I got a text that says, what do you guys think about A.J. Brown tweeting last night that it wasn't his fault and then deleting it? First off, stop deleting tweets. Can we please get to that point? Like, at this point, if you're AJ Brown, as soon as you tweet it, people are screenshotting it anyway. So there's really no point in deleting the tweet. And that is the other part that I've not really thought about until just now. Like, I hope in this transition, at least on social media, that there's a little bit of thicker skin there. Because let me tell you something, you're going to need it in Philadelphia. I promise you, at some point, you will need it in Philadelphia.
That's true. I mean, you are going to a very different market. And look, like, so TD, great job again today. Great stuff, as always, on our show. I mean, I think you and I probably both disagree with TD on what Jalen Hurts is as a quarterback, and I think it's a very fair point to bring up as it relates to A.J. Brown's trajectory. Now, look, I think that A.J. Brown can make him better because, like TD was saying, those quick access throws make it, like it's sort of like what people have talked about with Josh Allen, and Stephon Diggs and what he's done for him. But it's not. I don't think he's ever going to be a great quarterback. And that city is. They make New York look soft. Okay, the way that they treat their teams and athletes, they get after it. So this is actually a great time for AJ to delete his Twitter account. Okay, so here we go. Justin from Nashville, quote on the text line, "You're cracking me up. You use the wait and see on every move Poyle makes. Again, please hold Poyle to the same standards you're holding the Titans to right now."
What?
Shut up. Hey, Justin, here's my constructive comment for you. Shut up.
What are we
That's
talking
a load
about?
of crap.
We talk about Poyle all the time.
I mean, we've gone. I mean, I don't even. But that is a dynamic too in this city. Is like there's the Titans part of the fan base who thinks that like the media is like super soft with the Preds, but way too hard on the Titans. And I think it's some people in the Titans building think that too. It's utter crap.
Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Stephen from Hendersonville who wants to weigh in. Stephen, thanks for calling in to Robby and Rexrode.
Hey, I would wish you guys a good morning, but I don't lie. So
we understand.
I'm gonna spit some truth here for you guys. John Robinson needs to be fired. For the last couple of years, this guy has been chasing his own mistakes, trying to correct the piss-poor decisions he's made. He screwed up his evaluation of Conklin, which led to Isaiah Wilson, which led to Dylan Radnuts, who doesn't even have a position on the offensive line. They don't know what the hell he is besides some cornbread country guy who can't really play football, but we wasted a second-round pick on him. He screwed up his evaluation of Corey Davis, which led to Julio Jones, which led to let's get rid of A.J. Brown so we could get Burks. I'm sorry, while the rest of the NFL is playing chess, he's in the corner eating crayons. John Robinson has to go.
Hey, thanks for the call, Steven. I appreciate it. Steven fired up about John Robinson there.
Thank you, Stephen, for making us seem reasonable this morning.
Dylan Radnuts.
Oh boy. I was as soon as he said that, I'm like, Michelle, better be ready with that button.
Wait, actually,
send some profanity.
It's so funny. Once he said that, I swiveled my chair back and hovered over the button just for precaution.
Yeah. Head on a swivel.
Yeah.
This brings up a quick Keith, our buddy Keith on the text line says, I'm really enjoying Jared filling in for Joe this morning. Good God. Thanks a lot, John Robinson. You've turned me into Jared. You fired.
Well, I will say, look,
Stephen might have been a little bit dramatic there. But
a little bit, but like this is gonna affect the way Titans fans view J-Rob. Like if AJ Brown goes off and just totally lights it up for the Eagles this year, and the Titans are, 8-9 and miss the playoffs, what are people going to be saying about John Robinson? Like this is not going to go over well with Titans fans.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I think in general, it sometimes doesn't work out. And Clowney didn't work out. Julio didn't work out. And I think he's right on Conklin, Isaiah Wilson. Obviously, Isaiah Wilson is you can't find a ton that would have given them an indication. But when you make mistakes because you're saying we are going right now, as a fan, isn't that what you want? Fan of any team. you want to believe that your GM is in the now. If you're close, if you think your GM is, well, I mean, again, Vrabel probably didn't mean it this way, but Vrabel's like, we want to be here a long time. We have to. Why do fans care about that? You being here a long time? That's not what I'm paying all this money for. I'm paying all this money for to go watch a team that has a chance to win. You just traded away one of the 3 best players on this team. So that's where I think fans have an absolute right to be upset, because this is a shift in philosophy, or it appears that way.
I'm still just blown. We're at 8:27. I'm blown away that we're sitting here the day after the first round of the draft talking about the Titans trading A.J. Brown. I really am. Just blown away.
It really is surreal. Dude, I'm sure, again, a mashup of reactions, just like fans, media, and Titans players would be it'd be epic. So if anybody took a video, if you happen to have your video of yourself doing it, also if you have video of the Titans fans booing at the season ticket holder event, please share that on Twitter.
Adam Sparks on Twitter says, Grouchy Rexrode is my favorite Rexrode. Thank you, John Robinson. This is coming from Adam Sparks on Twitter.
Love you, Sparkles.
Pro Golf, go ahead.
No, I was going to make a Vanderbilt joke, but I don't really have one. Keep going.
Okay, thank you. Pro Golf is coming to Nashville this May with the Simmons Bank Open. Text the keyword golf to 615-737-1025 for a chance to win a weekend pass for 4 to enjoy the event in style, including food and drinks, plus a Predators gift back, including polo shirt, golf balls, and umbrella. That's golf to 615-737-1025 to be entered to win. Coming up next, we'll be joined by Terry Chris, Preds TV analyst. We'll get his thoughts on the Preds and a big win last night in Colorado. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hi, I'm Juuse Saros. And this is Smashville.
Now here's a try off to the side. What a stop made by Juuse Saros there.
Unreal. You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Getting enough sides so you don't have to share? That's finger licking good. Order the KFC Side Lovers meal today and get 3 large KFC sides served with 8 pieces of tenders or fried chicken. Prices and participation may vary.
Staples is evolving to Staples Connect, a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore what's new at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
Gary Ashton here. I love hearing people say, don't sell without the intel, because it means they're really embracing our message. Now's a great time to sell your home in Nashville, but you need the intel only the Gary Ashton team can provide. Intel that helps you sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel to win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Let everyone else get the same information and compete for the same properties, while you get the intel edge with the Gary Ashton team, the official real estate team for your Tennessee Titans. And if you're looking for a great career, join our team. We added 65 new agents last year, and we want you to join us this year. Remember, don't sell without the intel. And if you're looking for a great career, the Gary Ashton team wants you in 2022. Call 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com today.
We've all heard the saying that a little can go a long way. This is especially true during the Big Payback's 24-hour online giving event, helping support hundreds of local nonprofit organizations. From 6 p.m. on May 4th through 6 p.m. on May 5th, a gift as little as $10 could be boosted by cash prizes and help to make a big difference in the life-changing work of local nonprofits. Find out more at thebigpayback.org.
Harmon Energy is your one-stop petroleum solution across all of Tennessee, offering turnkey petroleum solutions for professionals in major industries, serving trucking fleets, construction companies, industrial plants, and more. Whether a large corporation or owner-operator, Harmon Energy has your diesel fuel, lubricant, DEF, and equipment needs. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman. Visit ParmanEnergy.com for more info. Your Tennessee petroleum solution, providing totally outrageous customer service.
Signs First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
The Game text line is driven by Wilson County Hyundai. Online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Be a part of the conversation. Call or text The Game at 615-737-1025.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands, including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
The sounds. Play ball.
Throw in the air. Deep left center field. On the track. At the wall. It's gone.
The Nashville Sounds are back on the road to take on the St. Paul Saints.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Sounds win.
Coverage begins at 6:20 on your home for the Sounds.
ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Vanderbilt head coach Jerry Stackhouse. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Azam Kadri coming on. His backhander goes high, and the Predators win it. They win it in the shootout.
Is fired up.
Big win last night for the Preds in Colorado. They take down the Avalanche 5-4 in a shootout last night. Some big goals by Josi and Ekholm and Johansson, Duchesne, and then they get it done in the shootout as well to pick up an important 2 points. And to help us talk more about that, we go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in our friend Terry Crisp, Preds TV analyst, brought to you by Copper Branch. Eat, think, change. Crispy, what's going on? How are we doing?
I'm doing great. My coffee, guys, is tasting just extra super good this morning. I watched the game last night, and after the game, I was talking long distance to my son up in Calgary, who's a hard Predator fan, and we both said the same word. What a weird game. You could describe a lot of sporting events, but this one last night was weird.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. Weird bounces, weird plays in that game. It was very strange. But Crispy, at the end of it, they get the win in that game against a team that you could see in the first round of the playoffs, and you do so with David Riddick in goal as well. How big a win was that, do you think, just psychologically, confidence-wise, for the Predators last night?
That was huge. Because let's be honest, David Riddick, our goaltender, when Saros is out, the backup or whatever, I don't like that phrase, he at one time with the Calgary Flames was the number one goaltender and played well. And all my grandchildren out there watched him playing, they used to call him Big Save Dave. And he came here, and then he hasn't had really a chance with Saros playing so well and being the goaltender that he is to prove what he could do. And then they at the end, they put him in like that. He's going to be paramount, especially now, depending on what happens with Saros and whatnot. It's going to depend on him. That's a lot of pressure, but he's a pro. He's been through the fires before, and let's just hope that he can get back to his one when he was the number one goaltender in Calgary.
Wait a minute, Crispy. I thought we were having you on to complain about the A.J. Brown trade. Wait, what?
You know,
what's going on here?
I think it was a great trade. I think it was a great move. Hold it. Before you throw anything at me, Michelle set me up for that. It was me. All Michelle has said, don't get Rexy mad at you this morning because he's going to tear the desk apart. He's going to do something foolish. So, hey.
I told him you were fired up, Rex.
Well, it was a stunner. But here's the thing, Crispy. You know, this draft commotion is happening, of course, last night. And then, meanwhile, that first period, I'm like, is Riddick about to set a record for goals allowed in a game? What an incredible turnaround in one game. What do you think that – because we've talked a lot, Crispy, this week about with the Saros situation, maybe Connor Ingram is – maybe it would make sense. He's had a good year in Milwaukee. I think eventually he's probably the backup goaltender moving forward. Maybe it makes more sense to go with him. But Riddick has done a lot more, obviously, in this league. What do you think that does for Riddick? And as a coach, how would you view this situation if you were in John Hines' shoes moving forward into the postseason with those two goaltenders?
Oh, good question. Good question. I'd certainly tell you, be sitting down with Riddick, the goaltender, and having a heart-to-heart talk with him. And, of course, all athletes are going to be the same. Yes, I can do it, yeah. But a lot of them will tell you the truth as to what's happening with them and their attitude and their mindset and whatnot. But just listen to what Riddick is. Like, he's a very calm person, a very well-respected teammate is the one thing. And I think if you watch it, and I was, again, talking without Calgary, Riddick is one of these goaltenders that makes that first save, which you have to have, because if you don't, the puck's in the friggin' net, and you don't get. But it's the rebounds that he lets go, that's out there. And I think last night our guys, after that bad start, started to help him defend in front of the net with the rebounds, started to take the bodies away, started to collect the loose pucks, started to move guys away to let him see the puck coming in, even on the second shot. So I think the team sort of strengthened up. No, I know they did, because I was a little agitated with their attitude towards pucks in the front of the net, and especially after Tkachuk walking out with that 0.1 second and tucking it in like he did when our guys, all 5 guys standing still. So, you know what? I don't care if it's Riddick or Saros or Connors. They're going to need help from our guys, and they're going to need a lot of help with both the teams, either one of the teams we meet, the team they played last night or the Flames, clearing loose pucks and making sure that the guys don't get those clear breakaways all the time.
Terry Crispon with us here on Robby and Rexrode, brought to you by Copper Branch. Eat, think, and change. And Crispy, you brought up the Flames. If the Preds get at least 1 point tonight, that's going to be their matchup in the first round against Calgary. And I was watching that game the other night at Bridgestone, and really the first person I thought of was you, just the way that game played out in the old-time hockey kind of style that it was. What did you think of that game? And if that is the matchup in the first round of the playoffs, what do you think of that matchup for the Preds?
That is a war. That is totally going to – if we match up with them, it's going to be a war, because we realize, and David Poyle and Coach Hines realized, we need a more grit. They brought Olivier up for it, which proved the point. And knowing Daryl Sutter, who I like and respect a lot, but if I had to coach against him, I would sure warn my guys to put on your camouflage fatigue bag, guys, because this is going to be a long, tough series against this hockey club, which I think we're prepared to play. If we get Saros healthy back and can keep some of them healthy, it's going to be physical. No matter who it is, every team seems to step up the pace in playoffs, no matter what, if you want to go, and they get a little more physical as it goes on. But with Calgary and our team, it's right off the bat. The Avalanche, they're a little more on the skill size, the quick size, the move the puck size, coming at you in wave size, and that'll be a little more of a speed race against the Avs.
So, Crispy, there's the goaltending obviously is going to be such a big focal point, but whichever team it is, if you could pick one player on this team to elevate, non-goaltender, to elevate play to the highest possible level and just be a breakout performer in the postseason to give the Preds a chance of pulling an upset, who would you choose?
Okay, this is going to sound weird, and I'm going back over in my mind as the guys of what they've had and what they've done, and it's going to sound weird, but I would pick Philip Forsberg. Now, everybody's going to start yelling, well, geez, Crispy scored 40-some goals. I know that, and I know how many Duchesne scored, and I know what Yossi has done. I know what he's set, and Saros, and I know what I'm going to get from Saros, especially Saros. I know is capable of bringing in the other ones. But I think that if Philip Forsberg decides that he's going to take this team like he did a couple of years ago and put them on his shoulders and join, he could be the one to find that scoring touch that he's had and kept. Not only that, but some of the big plays that he made with passes, etc. I think Philip Forsberg, to me, is the one that can. And then I know people say, like, Crispy, what the hell, you're stupid? I know, but I'm going on the mental side of it for a locker room and for team, what they could do. And that would be, to me, a huge boost.
Well, Crispy, is a gigantic win last night for the Predators. They're back at it tonight against Arizona. And if they get at least a point, they'll be taking on Calgary in the first round. Appreciate you taking time to join us today, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys, great. Let's get wound up to the playoffs. No better time. That's what you fight for all year long. That's what you want. Our fans have been waiting for it, and thank goodness we gave our fans what they want. And now it's playoff time. See y'all at Bridgestone.
That's right. Terry Crisp, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode, joins us every Friday morning at 8:30 here on the show. When we come back, it is time for Preds Pick to Click, brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. Be the first caller at 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. If you get the answer right, if you guess a goal scored for the Predators tonight, you'll win some tickets to a future event at Bridgestone Arena. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025, The Game.
Do you have that one person or thing that just makes you mad? Join us every Friday at noon on the DDC for You Just Made the List. Fueled by Parman Energy. Visit ParmanEnergy.com, your one-stop petroleum solution, and try Star Movie on the DDC on ESPN 1025, The Game.
You just made the list.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. While an isolated shower or two will be possible today, we're mainly looking at partly cloudy skies with highs in the upper 70s and lower 80s.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Don't miss the historic opening of Geodis Park on May 1st as Nashville SC comes home for the first time of the 2022 season. Become a season ticket member starting at only $357 to ensure you are there for the big day. Come on in and grab a seat at NashvilleSC.com/22ticks.
Don't forget to grab your mom something special this year. Shop at Social Furniture for their Mother's Day sale, where everything is in stock. They have sofas, bedroom sets, and top-name brand new mattresses like Purple, Serta, Sealy, and Simmons on sale now. Running out of time? Well, at Social Furniture, there's no waiting and same-day delivery. Use Social Furniture's financing plan and pay no interest for 1 full year. Shop at Social Furniture today on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local. Shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Spring is in the air, and that means all kinds of fun in the sun is just around the corner. But if you're feeling low energy, if you've put on weight and just aren't getting the gains from your workouts, if you aren't sleeping well and your libido isn't what it used to be, maybe you aren't looking forward so much to sunny days and shirtless weather. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if this sounds like you, we might very well have the answer, because you may very well be suffering from low testosterone. And that, my friend, is something that can be effectively treated to get you back to the guy you used to be. The Tennessee Men's Clinic has treated thousands of men for low T. Our treatment programs are highly effective, with most men seeing results in just a few weeks. Assuming you're like most guys, you'll sleep better, have better workouts, have higher energy, and your sex life might just improve as well. So give us a call. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090. Or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the world is throwing everything it has at you, and to succeed, you need someone to guide you through. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PCs and tech advice to help you navigate whatever challenges you're up against and get you safely to where you want to be. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro. This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the course keeps changing right before your eyes. And in order to maneuver it, you need an expert by your side. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PC and tech solutions you need to help you get out in front and stay ahead of the game. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
Darren McFarland.
And a mulligan that we all look for in golf. Lord knows our game could use it.
Willie Donick.
Outworked and outperformed a lot of other really good players.
Chase McCabe.
I want some sort of trade protection.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Robby and Rexrode is on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Curve on front, and the score!
Who's going to find the back of the net in tonight's Preds game? Robby and Rexrode make their picks to click and welcome a listener to do the same. Pick to Click is brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka, the official vodka of the NHL.
And it is that time of the day, time for Preds Pick to Click here on Robby and Rexrode, brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. The Preds in action tonight, taking on the Arizona Coyotes. Puck drop at 9:30, pregame at 8:30 here on ESPN 1025 The Game. And big night last night in Preds Pick to Click. Joe Rexrode on the board, Robby Stanley on the board, Michelle Knezovic on the board last night with our selection. So,
and no suit for you, listeners.
I feel bad for Kenny from Spring Hill. He's had some rotten luck when it comes to Preds Pick to Click. He really has.
He has. He's
Kenny,
always opposite.
Kenny, if I win this, I will personally give you a prize pack because you've had terrible luck, okay? Because I don't want this to be misery for you personally. I just want to beat the listeners.
There you go. So the standings are as such. The listeners in Rexrode tied again at 19 correct answers apiece. I'm at 17. Michelle's been on a heater this week. She's up to 14 correct answers. So with that in mind, let's go to our 1025 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. And welcome in today's participant, Jose. Jose, thanks for calling in. Who's your pick to click tonight for the Predators?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Robby, I'm going to try to bring it home for the fans here. I'm going to go with Crispy's prognostication and go with Forsberg tonight to kind of at least lock up a tie, if not a win, for the fans.
I like it. Well done, Jose. We appreciate you calling in. So Forsberg, the selection by Jose. Joe Rexrode, you were up first today in the competition. Forsberg is off the board. Your pick to click.
Matt Duchene, all day.
Matt Duchene, the selection by Rexrode. Forsberg and Duchene off the board. Michelle Knezovic, you are next.
Well, I wanted to pick Roman Josi yesterday because I knew he was going to score, but I picked Johansson and I still lucked out. But I'm just going to go with Roman Josi today. Thank you very much, Mr. Captain.
So Josi, the selection by Michelle. Duchene, Forsberg, and Josi off the board. Give me Jeannot. Jeannot ends his scoreless drought tonight. He's not going to finish the regular season on this drought. He's going to put one in there tonight. Give me Tanner Jeannot, the goal scorer for the Predators tonight. So Forsberg, Duchene, Josi, and Jeannot, the selections here on Preds Pick to Click, brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. Joe, quickly, we have not brought this up yet today. A report yesterday from A to Z Sports, Alex Doherty of A to Z Sports, doing a good job of reporting that Juuse Saros has a high ankle sprain, and that injury typically takes 4 to 6 weeks to heal. So we've talked about, what it could be with not being able to put weight on the leg coming off the ice, and people speculated ACL, obviously, with him being on the team playing, that we kind of sleuthed out yesterday. That's not the case. What do you make of the report from A to Z Sports of a high ankle sprain for Juuse Saros?
Good job, Alex Doherty. And by the way, I did mention high ankle sprain on the show yesterday. I'm just saying.
I mean, you went through the entire laundry list, but
yeah,
you did.
I think I mentioned everybody part, but that was included. So I think for people who don't closely follow sports injuries, that may not sound bad. It's bad. I mean, a high ankle sprain is a totally different thing than an ankle sprain.
Yeah.
And I would be very surprised if we see Juuse Saros before a second round that the Preds are going to be very hard pressed to make. And even that, I think, would be tremendous healing. Some people do, heal faster than others. But as you said with Juuse Saros, his strength, his superpower is that lateral movement and his explosiveness. And if you compromise that at all, then his size becomes more of an issue. And I'm going to go ahead and guess right now that the next time Preds fans see Juuse Saros in goal will be the opener of the 2022-23 season.
Yeah, it's, I don't know from a hockey standpoint, especially at that position with goalie, like what is it like to play through a high ankle sprain? I mean, obviously when you start talking about basketball and football with the cutting that's involved? Like, is there a way that you could protect the ankle a little bit more in a skate? I don't know. So I don't know what all goes into that. I will say what John Hines said on our show yesterday about letting it settle down, letting those things settle down makes a little bit more sense now when you start talking about high ankle sprain, but does not sound good for the Predators and Juuse Saros if that indeed is the case. So we'll keep monitored on that, but they waltzed into Denver last night anyway, get a big win. I'm just saying they got a big win last night anyway. So
David Riddick, raw deal for him. I guess anything. The fact that we just talked about the Saros news today is like, this is what happens when an AJ Brown trade happens. But David Riddick last night, jeez, what got into him?
Well, I watched the first 2 goals and I was just like, my gosh, this is going to be a rough one. And he ran into the crossbar last night. It was just a weird game, but the Predators find a way to get it done, and we'll see if they can do it tonight against Arizona. 1 point tonight guarantees them the wild card spot. If Dallas loses, they're in there anyway. But if you're the Predators, just take care of business against the Coyotes, and you'll be the number 1 wild card taking on the Calgary Flames. Joe, get back into the A.J. Brown stuff. If you missed it earlier, TD talked with A.J. Brown last night, and according to A.J. Brown, this in the piece that TD put out on ESPN.com says, quote, "This wasn't my fault. I wanted to stay, but the deal they offered was a low offer. The deal they offered wasn't even $20 million a year." Brown then goes on to say the offer topped out at $16 million per season, with incentives that would have driven the deal up to $20 million per year as an average. This coming from a story that Teron Davenport has put up at ESPN.com. When you hear that, what is your reaction to that if you're a Titans fan, if what A.J. Brown says there is true?
To me, like, look, my instant reaction to this was, it's a bad move. And Robinson and Vrabel both talked about this massive gap, and they made it sound like there were just completely unrealistic expectations of A.J. Brown for his next deal. And if he's accurate with his numbers, I can't understand it. I really can't. I'm going back and forth now with Jared, who, by the way, a little preview of 2 p.m. today. I think Jared's going to be like, this is like a role reversal. This is like Freaky Friday. Jared's going to be like, oh, John Robinson and the Patriot Way. This totally makes sense. Which again, mind blowing. But then again, maybe it shouldn't be. I think it's just a terrible move. I do. And AJ Brown could get hurt. He could not turn out to be what I think he is. Treylon Burks could come in and be better than him. There's a lot of things we don't know. I love the Clowney move, and I'll sit here right now and raise my hand and say, if I'm a fan of a team, I want my general managers to go make bold moves when the team is in position to actually go for something. So I love the Clowney move. I love the Julio Jones trade, and they didn't work out. Okay, they didn't work out. This is choosing to be worse. When you had alternatives, when you could have gone and seen this out and worked it out. And I understand that that's AJ's side of the story. And so you have to keep that in mind. And we're never going to hear John Robinson litigate this publicly. But every bit of information that we have tells me this was a huge mistake by John Robinson.
Well, something's not adding up here, because either the Titans don't have the same definition of going to the extreme with A.J. Brown as I think the rest of us do, or something's not adding up here. Because, we played the audio from Vrabel earlier in the show talking about going to the extreme to try to keep A.J. Brown here. And then all of a sudden, A.J. Brown saying your best offer is $16 million a year with incentives to get to 20. Is that going to the extreme in today's wide receiver market? Heck no, it's not. So one of those two things doesn't add up to me.
See, Jared, and there's going to be other apologists today who want to call this the Patriot Way. And John Robinson has done other things that I think qualify for that. And it's like, there's a lot to be said for getting out from a player before he gets to a certain stage in his career, not paying as much, going to get a younger player. That's not this. And this is not that. And you're right, there is something missing. I think one thing that's missing is an overall concern by Robinson and Vrabel about how A.J. Brown has handled this publicly and what that might say, and about the future with him. But I just, to me, contract stuff is contract stuff. And if you're not an issue other than some weird tweets or deleting your tweets, people are out here talking about Antonio Brown. Get out of here with that crap.
Yeah, it's not remotely the same with Antonio Brown and A.J. Brown. Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Nate from Nashville who wants to weigh in. Thanks for calling into Robby and Rexrode.
Hey, guys. The big thing that I want to know is, when did they start negotiating? Because I know, Joe, you said that the tweets aren't really that big a deal until you start deleting them. My thing is, how long did they start negotiating before he started tweeting? Because if it wasn't long after, then I would have to question if he's – I don't know, because I don't want to sound like a bad person, because I know I struggle with mental health, especially after the past couple of years. But, what do y'all think?
Thanks for the call, Nate. Look, I think he was just tweeting about his contract. We've talked about the tweet part of this. Obviously, the deleting tweets is weird. And he did again last night, by the way. He tweeted out this thank you to Titans fans, and I think in all capital letters said, "This is not my fault." And then 6 minutes later, the tweet was gone. So, A.J. Brown is a pro at deleting tweets. We've talked about that here on the show, but we talked about the mental health discussion too. A.J. Brown came out with this nice, thing on TikTok about his struggles with mental health. And I thought that was really cool, really important of him to do that. But to me, the tweets since then they're about the contract. We talked about the vagueness of it and the cryptic nature of the tweets. Now that we've seen this play out, to me, it was pretty clear it's about the contract at this point.
Yeah, I got some people who told me that was about fans on a show. No. But whatever. We need to go to break. I'm just going to keep blabbing and going overtime. Just shut me up. Let me mute my side. I'm talking to Zach.
Well, I will say, Jared Stillman on Twitter just said, Joe Rexrode just said he'd be mad at Robinson for trading AJ and cited Clowney and Julio as, quote, moves he liked, LOL. This coming from Jared on Twitter.
Yes, because it's very easy to look at a move after it doesn't work on and say, oh, I hate that. And we don't have time to get in this. I'm going to
mute Joe.
We don't have time. Mute me.
We'll continue the conversation on A.J. Brown. Got a lot more of your thoughts to get to on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Ed, hang with us on our phone line as well. We'll get to you next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The voice of reason.
No, you blew it. That's what happened. It didn't slip away. You blew it.
The voice of the fan.
The officials had let that game get out of control before anything got thrown.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
The Aggies take the opener. This is the Commodore Report. I'm Kevin Ingram. Baseball to begin on this Friday morning. Vanderbilt falls 5-1 to number 21 Texas A&M in the opener of a 3-game series in Nashville on Thursday night. SEC Pitcher of the Week Chris McElvain kept the Commodores close, but the pitch count stacked up early, and McElvain was only able to go 5 innings, while the Aggies' Nathan Detmer and Jacob Polish held the Vandy boys to only 5 hits and a first-inning run. Game 2 tonight at 6. The Atlanta Braves World Series trophy will be making an appearance at Hawkins Field, part of a tour of the region for the 2021 MLB champions, which featured, of course, Vandy boys Dansby Swanson and Kyle Wright. Vanderbilt Women's Golf will host an NCAA Regional for the first time. That's coming up May 9th through the 11th at the Legends Club in Franklin. Coach Greg Allen's team is the number 6 seed in the regional out of 12 squads. ACC champion Wake Forest is the top seed, along with Alabama and Texas A&M from the SEC. 3 women's tennis players made all-conference. Junior Anna Ross and sophomores Anessa Lee and Holly Staff were chosen second team All-SEC. The NCAA Tournament Selection Show for tennis coming up on Monday night. Season tickets are on sale for Vanderbilt basketball for next season. Fans renewing before the end of June will be entered to win prizes. You can go to VUCommodores.com and get all the details. Have a great weekend. Reminder of baseball versus Texas A&M tonight at 6 and Saturday at 2. Radio coverage of both games on the Vanderbilt Sports Network from Learfield with streaming at SEC Network Plus. That is the Commodore Report on 102.5 The Game and ESPN 94.9.
Hal Gill here for my good friends at Dunkin'. You know I love Dunkin', and I'm wicked happy that Dunks is all over Nashville. A newly remodeled next-gen Dunkin' location is at 1645 West Main Street in Lebanon. Of course, Dunks has the best coffee, but they have new spring items available as well. Try the salted caramel cream cold brew, shamrock macchiato made with Irish cream swirl, and the roasted tomato toast with hummus or avocado. They also have amazing chocolate croissants. So go treat yourself, go get your Dunks.
This segment of ESPN 102.5 The Game is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
At Copper Branch, they live life to the fullest. Food is your energy and your life. Located in the heart of downtown Nashville, their goal is to serve you, your friends, and family quality, great-tasting, plant-based power foods. Visit Copper Branch at 601 Church Street for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with convenient and validated parking during library hours, and download their app for curbside pickup. Or come out for songwriter and live music nights several times throughout the week to empower, energize, and feel your best. Visit Copper Branch today.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell media station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in. Final hour of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezevich here with you on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. This wild Friday morning. We've had hundreds of text messages on our text line this morning reacting to A.J. Brown being traded by the Titans to the Eagles. The Titans select Treylon Burks with their first-round pick. Trade back from number 26 as well. They pick up picks number 35 and 69 in addition to 90 that they already have. So 4 picks now in the top 90, but A.J. Brown no longer a member of the Titans. Taking your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com and welcome in Ed from Nashville who wants to weigh in. Ed, thanks for calling in to Robby and Rexrode.
Hey, thanks, guys. Hey, listen, man, I'm going to be honest about this. I don't want to hear anything from the Titans, any NFL team, of talking about saving money. It's a billion-dollar industry. I don't hear nothing about a salary cap. Look, I'm a builder. I build houses. You want ceramic tile or you want porcelain? I have to save money. 2x4s have gone from $1 to $12 a piece. I have to save money, not the Titans. That's what the going rate is. For a wide receiver, a top 10 wide receiver is making $25 million. Christian Kirk's making $22 million a year in Jacksonville. This is the point I want to make. We've been laughing the last couple of years about how the Jacksonville Jaguars are in total disarray. No leadership, no coaching. Guys, 2018, the Jacksonville Jaguars were up 20-10 against the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game. You know why? They had Bouye. They had Jalen Ramsey, Miles Jack, Ndakwe. All of those players are gone. They're all gone. Every player on that team, even Bortles, who started as quarterback, they're all gone. That's why they're 2-14. If you keep trading away your draft picks, especially when they turn out to be good players, you're not doing anything for the chemistry of the team. It's John Robinson's problem to keep those players. I mean, he's got to keep them on that team. Maybe he's giving too much money to Tannehill, too much money to Lawan. That's his problem. I don't want to hear that. All I want to do is get to the Super Bowl, and you don't have to worry about a wide receiver replacing A.J. when he's already on the staff. He's already there. Why waste a pick? Everybody's saying, well, Burke could be well, look, we don't have to worry about him being AJ if AJ's on the team. You could take that draft pick and go get a quarterback. Someone that's going to help us get to the Super Bowl. I don't want to hear anything about saving money. I'm done. Bye.
Thanks for the call, Ed. We appreciate it. Nice therapy session for Ed there. I mean, I hear what he's saying there. Like, first off, the way he ended that call was awesome. Just, all right, I'm done.
That should be a drop now. That should be a drop.
I'm done. But I hear you saying, like, the excuse if you're the Titans of the money part of this, like, I get it. You don't want to overpay for guys.
Sure.
But if what A.J. Brown is saying is true and that your best offer was $16 million with incentives up to 20, that's not overpaying for A.J. Brown in this market. Like, the wide receiver market's been crazy. And to Ed's point there, it really all started with Christian Kirk and the Jags and that wild deal he got this offseason. But that's why I go back to what we were talking about last segment, Joe. There's something to me that doesn't make sense between Mike Vrabel and the Titans saying they're going to the extreme.
Want to apologize for this, and apparently we can put Jared Stillman right at the top of the list of apologists on this move. Rossini's report on AJ cutoff talks. Okay, great. It's April. I mean, the Titans have done the same thing with a lot of guys, and maybe it wasn't this contentious, but they've gotten it done. They figured it out, and they had other options. And I just refuse to believe that they had information that told them there's no way this is working out. I don't know what that would be. That's so contrary to what AJ said. And look, if AJ's out there talking to TD, telling them specific numbers, that's pretty bold if you're lying. That is awfully bold if you're flat out lying about the numbers you told Teron Davenport.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, that would be very bold if you're lying there.
And those numbers are ridiculous.
And he did say in that he said, quote, I would have stayed if they offered me $22 million. Now, again, I don't put a whole lot of stock into that because I think that's something that's incredibly easy to say after your contract is already signed and you've moved on and you know that you're getting $25 million a year. So, look, I don't know whether or not A.J. Brown would have stayed for $22 million. Maybe he would have, but I don't put a whole lot of stock into that because I think it's really easy to say after it's done. But if it's true that the best offer from the Titans was $16 million, it makes me kind of wonder if you were ever really serious about keeping A.J. Brown to begin with incentives to get up to 20, just based on the market. Like, look at what the market is.
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, exactly. I mean, and speaking of social media, I don't think he deleted this one. I think it was the Christian Kirk deal, right? He's like, I mean, if you're the Titans and you see some of these things, you have to know that you're getting into the 20s. I think everyone expected that, right? 22. I mean, look, I wrote last week, I said they should be willing to go up to 25 a year, 70 million guaranteed. The deal that he got for the Eagles, 25 million a year, 57 million guaranteed. So, I mean, this is not this is not a change for me. And you're right that the Titans, maybe they weren't serious. Maybe they're worried about his injuries. You know what? If that's the case, maybe they'll be right. I mean, we don't know how this is going to play out, but to the callers, the central point and why I think Titans fans have every right to be upset, your team just has pivoted. You can make all the go for it moves you like that don't work out, and that's fine. And you can complain about it at the time or after the fact. But this is a pivot from we believe we're really good and we can compete in the AFC to, well, let's reset. Let's have a competitive rebuild. Let's whatever. And that's got to be infuriating for Titans fans, especially when you consider, Derrick Henry and his timeline. I mean, I think he is the best player on this football team. I would agree with anybody who says that. And I would be wanting to maximize whatever time you have left with him being that still on the football field.
I got a text here on the text line that says, was the Chipotle that bad? Talking about A.J. Brown when he missed the food poisoning. Maybe so. Maybe that left a nice little impact on him. I don't know.
Well done.
Paul on the text line says the first Nashville sports pain domino has fallen. Brace yourself for Forsberg to be gone next. Is coming from Paul on the text line. Yeah, that question that people kept asking on the text line of, hey, who signs first, A.J. Brown or Philip Forsberg? Well,
Well,
AJ Brown technically signed.
That's true. How about maybe Forsberg can go to Philly too? Is that possible? Forsberg and AJ show in Philly. Does that mean that Kittle will move there while still playing with the Niners?
Big Flyers fan. Got a texture that says, say that we did pay him 22 and he comes out with the same season he had last year, roughly 850 and missed games. Would you say he was overpaid then? This is coming from a texter on the text line.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's a 4-year deal. If AJ Brown does not have a serious injury, and right now he does not have some chronic injury that he can't overcome. If he has a serious injury that derails his career, that's one thing. If he does not have that, this contract will look like the blue light special at Kmart by the end of it.
Ooh, nice reference there. LD from McMinnville on the text line says, it seems that fans are missing the bigger story. The Titans literally just drafted a player that hunts and kills wild hogs with a knife, a freaking knife. This is coming from LD on the text line. I do love the Treylon Burks pick. I can't lie. Love it from Treylon Burks.
Yeah, I mean, none of this is any kind of comment on Burks. The comment on Burks to me is just like he's in a really bad spot, a tough spot as a rookie in this league. Because I think compared to some of the other receivers, all the evaluation on Burks is, if you watch him play, he's a player. Okay, yeah. I think he has a chance to be great in the NFL. A chance. But we know what AJ Brown is, and the thing with Burks is, I think it is going to take some time. The nuances of the game, route running, things like this. These are evaluated as not his strengths, and that's just tough when you basically are coming in to be the number one receiver.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on the Titans and AJ Brown on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. There is a new way to hear us on Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game. Check us out on 1063 as well, from downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24. You now have two choices to hear our great sports programming and the Nashville Predators as well. Check it out on 1063 and save it as a preset. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Here they come, turn 4.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe. Join me for Chasing Checkers every Sunday morning at 8 as we talk all the big stories in NASCAR, IndyCar, and the motor racing world. We'll also talk to some of the big names in the sport. It's Chasing Checkers, presented by Apple Collision Centers and the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway on ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Crowded House returned to North America with the Dreamers Are Waiting tour. Featuring all the hits from their iconic career, plus music from the new album Dreamers Are Waiting. Don't miss Crowded House Live, September 18th at Ryman Auditorium. On sale this Friday, 10 a.m. Buy tickets online at Ryman.com.
Realizing Geico is your one-stop shop for all your insurance needs is like realizing you can just toss the whole measuring cup into the washer so it won't get gunked up with laundry detergent.
I guess it doesn't work for coffee mugs, huh?
It's something that's been right in front of you this whole time, like how Geico offers 24/7 emergency roadside service to help you when you need it most. Or how athletic wristbands aren't for your wrists, they're for wiping sweat off your forehead.
Great. So, what are headbands for?
80s night at the dance club. Woo!
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance, with even more ways to save when you add boat, motorcycle, and RV insurance. Or how a pony is its own animal and not just a baby horse.
So, what's a baby pony called?
Getting more ways to save. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Celebrating mothers everywhere, Electronic Express has what you need to make this the best Mother's Day yet. Spoil mom with brands like Zwilling, KitchenAid, Samsung, LG, Dyson, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department: computers, home theater, housewares, smart home furniture, and more. Plus, save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Shop spring savings at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as your Nashville Predators take on the Arizona Coyotes tonight. Puck drops at 9:30, but the party starts at 9 with all kinds of specials. See you at headquarters, Beercade, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
This is Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers. We understand that no one likes to deal with auto body repair and the inconvenience it becomes in your day-to-day life. I want to personally invite you to stop by and let our experienced staff see how we can help you make your vehicle look good as new. Apple Collision Center has 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Come by and see us or visit us online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Robby and Rexrode on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Good God. Thanks a lot, John Robinson. You've turned me into Jared. You fired. You fired. You fired.
And a fired up Joe Rexrode today here on Robby and Rexrode reacting to AJ Brown. That's fine. He'll hear it at some point. He's back in there now, though. By the way, ESPN 102.5
I heard
Nashville's official home of NASCAR. Tune in this Sunday at 1 o'clock for the Dryden 400 at Dover International Speedway. NASCAR on 102.5 The Game, presented by Nashville Super Speedway and Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Also get set for the race with Chasing Checkers with Chase McCabe every Sunday morning at 8 o'clock on 102.5 The Game.
You fired. I wish people were watching on the stream because you did this little like point thing to the side. You're like, "You fired." It was incredible.
I really do want to thank John Robinson for turning me into an absolutely unhinged shock jock who's on like his 11th cup of coffee while Jared becomes the voice of reason in Nashville. Thanks a lot.
This does feel like, kind of a rant for you today. It's like a 4-hour-long Rex rant today is basically what this has been.
I'm sorry. I think this is a huge mistake. I don't know how things are going to turn out. AJ Brown may never be great in Philly. And Treylon Burks may be better than him. And the Titans could have a huge day today and be better next year. And that all could happen. But with the information I have available, I think they've blown this. And I think that they are thinking long-term when it wasn't time yet to think long-term. And I think they've given up on something that they had alternatives to explore moving forward. And mostly, I think AJ Brown's great. I think he's going to be a great player. And I think he's a generational pick, especially as a second rounder. And I understand some of the social media stuff and understand that he was mad about the contract and probably shouldn't have been public about that and why they wouldn't like that. But unless there's some huge piece of information we're missing here, this does not make sense to me.
Got a texter on the text line that says, okay, hear me out. The poverty franchises like the Jags completely changed the market. The good organizations like the Packers, Chiefs, and Titans realize that wide receiver market is too high for their value. I trust the strategies of those teams more than I trust the Jags, the Dolphins, and the Raiders. That's coming from a texter on the text line. So we've actually talked about that in terms of, all these good teams like the Chiefs, like the Packers losing Adams, the Chiefs losing Tyreek Hill, now the Titans losing AJ Brown as I smack my microphone. Like this could be, it's a changing of the guard in the NFL. What do you make of that text of those teams are realizing the wide receiver market's too high for their value and trusting strategies of those teams more than the Jags, the Dolphins, and the Raiders that this texter brings up?
I mean, I think it's a creative way to talk yourself into this. So I'll give you some credit for that. I mean, there are other teams that are, I think good franchises that are paying and going to pay receivers. The market is what it is. And the thing is, The market is going that way. It's going that way for everything. The cap's going to astronomical levels. Don't fool yourself. So it's just like with Charles the other day talking about QB pay, talking about Tannehill's deal. Right now we're like, oh my gosh, 40, 50, it'll be 60 soon. And receivers will be in the 30s, and then they'll be at 40s. And this is where it's going. So if your strategy is always to just not pay someone and always, then at some point you're going to lose out, because when you have great players, you should hold on to them. There's a balance there. You can't sign and keep all your good draft picks, but you need to sign and keep some of them.
Yeah, especially the great ones, like AJ Brown. Hey, look, there's always been the guys and the people on the text line today talking about, well, what if it was a choice between AJ Brown and Jeffrey Simmons? Well, first off, I don't think it was. Like, you can still pay both of those guys. And secondly, like, I'm looking around at wide receivers right now. I get you. Look, they could go at 35 today, and they could go draft George Pickens. And maybe between one of those two guys, you got a player like AJ Brown. I mean, maybe Treylon Burks is that guy. I don't know. But it's interesting, the known commodity. We talked about this with draft picks. It's easy to fall in love with draft picks. Sometimes the known commodity is the way to go. That's the way the LA Rams have operated. Charles talked about that with us. That doesn't mean every team has to operate that way. But now to your point earlier, there's a whole lot of pressure on Treylon Burks coming in here.
Yeah, I mean, the reigning Super Bowl champion has a shirt that says F them picks, Yes. Now, again, I think there's a balance, and it's not like the Rams haven't had some success in the draft, but they've been very much successful with the proven commodity model. So I don't agree with anyone who says this had to be some choice between AJ and Jeffrey Simmons. And I think, you could have made that work. You could have made that work. Those numbers that AJ told TD, and I think they're insulting. If that's true, I think it's actually an insulting offer. And I think that the concern here in terms of mindset with Robinson and Vrabel is that, again, I think that I think to their credit in a lot of instances, I think they are very attuned to attitude and to locker room and chemistry and personality. And I think that's been part of the success here. But I'll think back to move-out day. We've talked so much about Ryan Tannehill, right? We've talked so much about Tannehill not taking any responsibility, then he doesn't show up on move-out day, and now he's deep-sea fishing for Celsius or whatever. Well, on move-out day, you know who did talk for the offense? A.J. Brown. And he stepped up, and he took all the questions, and he answered for Tannehill. And that's what he's been from my perception of A.J. Brown. I'll go back to being in Denver when they were the worst offense in the NFL, and I watched him go over there crying and hugging Marcus Mariota because he knew he just lost his job. I've had a high opinion of A.J. Brown as a person in this locker room, community, and so on and so forth, pretty much from day one. And so he's mad at management because he should get paid, because everybody in this league knows that you can be cut at a moment's notice. If that's all it is, that's not enough to be scared away from him. And again, there may be other information we don't have, but the information that's available, I absolutely think that John Robinson blew it here.
Scott from Goodlettsville texting in says, AJ is not great. Great is someone in the Hall of Fame or on the path to the Hall of Fame. AJ is good to very good, but injury prone. Stop the silliness of calling him a great player. This is coming from Scott in Goodlettsville.
Yeah, look, again, I'm not saying that right now he's a Hall of Famer. I do think that AJ has the kind of ability to be a Hall of Famer.
I think there's that chance too, but it's one of those things too where, he's a great player for the Titans. He's been a great player for the Titans. I mean, TD brought it up earlier. Titans were 12-5 last year, right? They were 11-2 with AJ Brown. So, I mean, he's obviously been critically important. Now, does he need to stay on the field more? Yeah, that's something we've talked about. He's got to stay on the field more. The injuries are a concern. We've talked about for months. If you're on the other side of the table, if you're John Robinson, absolutely, I'm bringing up the injuries. That's certainly a part of negotiations. But if it's the dollar amount that doesn't make any sense. Like the market has changed this offseason for wide receivers. And if the offer was actually $16 million per season with incentives to get it up to 20, then that is at odds to me with Mike Vrabel saying they went to the extreme. Like when Mike Vrabel last night, without knowing any details, said that they went to the extreme, I was thinking A.J. Brown was asking for like $25 million a year guaranteed or $27 a year or whatever. Like extreme to me is not $16 million per season, topped out at $20 million. Or maybe, I guess my first thought was like, how much guaranteed money is A.J. Brown asking for in this deal? I mean, I don't know what the answer to that question is, but I still go back to the going to the extreme to keep A.J. Brown here. And what A.J. Brown's numbers have been that he's thrown out there are not remotely the same thing to me.
I mean, it's like they have no idea what that means. And I don't understand. And I know that's not true, but forget what he said. We do know the numbers of his deal. I mean, if Ian Rappaport hadn't reported the deal with Philly, 4 years, $100 million, $57 million guaranteed, then when Vrabel said that at his presser, I would have assumed, oh my God, he wanted like 28. He wanted like 80 guaranteed, something like that. Which even if those are the numbers, I still contend that if A.J. Brown doesn't have a disastrous injury, it would look okay by the end of the deal. But fine, at this point, in this moment, with the cap where it is, with the market where it is, that would have been extreme. I mean, as soon as Vrabel said that, we had Rappaport's reported numbers, and I'm like, well, I don't, what? And that's why, I mean, from the start, I was already like, I don't get it. And then you have what AJ told TD, and it makes even less sense.
Let's quickly go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Adam from Portland. Adam, what's going on?
So what's wrong with everybody? This is nuts. He's one dude. And, as the Titans, I understand. I saw the numbers. He's missed 4 or 5 games in the last 2 years. He got hurt in a bunch of games. There's a bunch of games where he's rolling around on the sideline. He ends up coming back in later, but he's unavailable. He did not crush in the playoffs. I think he had 5 playoff games. Can't remember him going over 50 yards in any of those games. So he's one dude, and we got a good return for him. So I just wish the fans would stop. Sick of it.
Well, I mean, he was pretty darn good in the playoff game in Cincinnati. The quarterback sucked. I mean, you could make an argument.
One dude.
Yeah, he's one dude. He's one pretty darn good dude that the Titans have not been able to find anybody like him in 20 years.
I mean, earlier, I wrote that he's the most talented guy in his prime the franchise ever had at the position. And someone said, like, what about, Derek Mason? I agree. Derek Mason is the best receiver in Titans history. But I think that A.J. Brown, I think A.J. Brown, someone said earlier, Hall of Famer. I think A.J. Brown is good enough to be a Hall of Famer someday. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to stack years together. But these injury things have been a nagging thing here, a nagging thing there. It hasn't been – I think people are exaggerating that a little bit too. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. If it was always the same knee for 3 years, okay, then it's a different discussion. But I don't get it. I don't get people who say, just a dude, whatever, not a big deal. I don't. Have you been watching A.J. Brown play? Mute me again. Mute me.
Coming up next, it is time for weekend winners here on Robby and Rexrode. We'll make some picks for some big games coming up this weekend. Look ahead to what the Titans might do in the second round as well. Make sure you tune in for Nashville Sounds Baseball tonight on ESPN 94.9 as the Sounds take on the St. Paul Saints, the AAA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins. Pre-game show with Jeff Hemp starts at 6:20, and first pitch is at 6:37. Sounds Baseball on ESPN 94.9, presented by 312 Pizza Company, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and Spirited Hive. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
It's time for the draft.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
Join us at 312 Pizza Company in Germantown for night 2 of draft night in Nashville, Friday, starting at 5.
You got that 4th round guy, 5th round guy, but I need 4 guys I can count on.
Presented by Apple Collision Centers, Social Furniture, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and the Nashville Sheriff.
On ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
BetMGM is pitching baseball fans a chance to swing for the fences. Hey, what's up? It's Chase McCabe. All you have to do is register using the code 1025GAME200, and you'll win $200 in free bets when you place a $10 moneyline wager on any Major League Baseball game, and either team hits a home run, regardless of your bet's outcome. Enjoy baseball like never before with BetMGM's daily promotions at your fingertips all season long. I take advantage of these every day. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com. Use that code 1025GAME200 to win $200 when you bet $10 on an MLB game and either team hits a home run. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. For problem gambling support, just call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
Hey, it's Jared from my friends at Hiller. Hiller is giving away free vacations for you and your family this month. With every purchase of a new whole home generator or select new HVAC systems, Hiller is giving you a free week-long vacation. With every purchase of a new tankless water heater, they're going to give you a free weekend vacation. And they're giving you a Visa Rewards card to help pay for gas to get you there. Choose from over 400 Marriott, Wyndham, Hilton, or Hyatt hotel properties. Take advantage of this unbelievable deal while you can. These deals are only available for a limited time, so schedule today. Visit happyhiller.com for all of the details.
Starting a small business requires strange tactics. I started my business in the basement of a factory in 1986. There was no heat, no air conditioning, and I used blankets as my office walls. Instead of customers, my visitors were rats, birds, flies, and snakes, and I was broke. To psych myself up that I was going to succeed, I wore formal business attire and a tie to that lonely factory basement every day. Strange? Yeah, I looked like a goof, but I didn't care. I had my late model 1970s mustache to comfort me. Hi, I'm Mike Capel. Now, 30 years later, I still use strange business tactics, like making payroll simple and incredibly inexpensive for small businesses. Our payroll starts at just $10 a month. Go to patriotsoftware.com and enter promo code RADIO, and I'll give you 2 months of payroll processing free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
Family Leisure invites you to vacation at home with a new spa, pool, patio furniture, or wood play gym this summer.
I really want a spa.
40 spas on display from Artesian, Best Spas, and American Select.
Prices starting as low as $29.99.
Family Leisure has over 100 sets of patio furniture with free delivery.
That sounds good to me, too.
We should really look at the wood play gyms for the kids. Family Leisure has the Diamond Point swing set on sale at only $24.99 installed. Family Leisure's vacation at home sale in Franklin and Antioch.
Family and fun come together. Welcome to the NFL Draft.
Saturday, it's day 3 of the NFL Draft. What future stars will be selected? Join ESPN's coverage starting at 11 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Nashville, this is Dan Lebitard. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
It's time to pick some winners. We hope. Robby and Rexrode have weekend winners for you. Now
on ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
And it is that time of the week, time for weekend winners here on Robby and Rexrode. Lots of games, lots of action coming up this weekend, so let's get to it. Joe Rexrode, very quickly, a standings update in our competition here.
A.J. Brown went 6-0 and hit his lock, and the Titans went 0-6 and
Thank
have
you.
not. Yeah. Wait, what does that sound? Is that like some website I have open, or is Michelle?
It's the music, Joe, our intro.
Okay.
You just
All right.
zoned
It's
out
just
for
really
a second.
loud.
It's okay.
No,
So sorry.
It's really loud. By the way, Caroline, my daughter, brought me a banana and said, next time you start yelling, here, eat this banana. So the hot,
Smart girl.
everyone thinks that, even people within my family think I'm hot taking today. So last week, Robby had the big week, 4-2 with lock, 5 points. I went 3-3 with lock, 4 points. Michelle, don't ever bet on your boyfriend's teams anymore.
Guys,
Michelle,
oh God.
1-5. I know, sorry, Ryan from Chicago. Don't beat me up. 1-5, 1 point. So
I
right
sucked
now,
so bad.
still a long way to go. I'm 37-23, 45 points. Robby 35-25, 43 points. Michelle 26-34, 27 points. A lot of picking to go.
So let's get rolling today. We'll begin with the Preds and Coyotes coming up tonight, the regular season finale for the Preds. We'll just go puck line on this one. Second half of a back-to-back for the Preds, and the Coyotes have taken down the Wild and the Stars so far this week. Joe, let's start with you. The Preds and Coyotes tonight. Who you got?
It is interesting because the Coyotes are enjoying this. They're just messing everybody up. And why not go out with a flourish? But, man, with the Preds, the way they came back last night, and you got the rookie in goal tonight, and you have, whether they think it or not, to me, a very worthwhile goal ahead of you, which is to play the Flames and not the Avs in the first round. I think the Preds are going to win.
I'm going to go Preds as well. I hesitate a little bit because I think Ingram's going to be in there tonight, and you never know how that's going to go. But I think the Preds will get it done tonight. They'll win. They'll punch their ticket as the first wild card. Michelle, the Preds and the Coyotes tonight.
3 for 3. I'm going Preds as well, guys.
There we go. Sweep for the Preds. Grizzlies and Timberwolves coming up tonight in Game 6 on the road for Memphis. The Grizzlies favored by 1.5 in this one. I'll start us off. Give me the Grizzlies tonight. I think the Grizzlies win this series. They close it out on the road. I'll take the Grizzlies minus 1.5. I think a big game from John Morant tonight, and the Grizzlies will be taking on the Golden State Warriors in the second round. Michelle, Grizz and T-Wolves tonight. Grizz favored by 1.5.
I think this has been one of the most entertaining series, which who would have thought coming into it? I think the Timberwolves are going to win tonight. So give me the Timberwolves plus 1.5. I think this one's going to 7, which will be in Memphis Sunday.
So the Timberwolves winning tonight, according to Michelle Kanazovic. Joe Rexrode, the Grizzlies, and the T-Wolves tonight. Grizzlies favored by 1.5.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one. You could see how the last game with that comeback, with the way John Morant took over, with the way it ended, how they could demoralize the T-Wolves. But you know what? They blew a freaking 26-point lead and came right back the next game. And I feel like this is a series destined for 7 and maybe even destined for a really good Game 7 on Sunday. Give me the T-Wolves and the 1.5.
Nashville SC opening up Geodis Park coming up on Sunday, taking on Philadelphia. Going to be a great environment over at Nashville SC. Michelle, kick us off. Win, lose, or draw are the options. Nashville SC taking on Philadelphia.
I think Nashville SC is going to make a big splash opening their new stadium. I think that they are going to win, and we all hate Philly today, right? Because they took AJ, so they're going to beat Philly.
Yeah, maybe AJ Brown will be at the game.
That'd be weird. Wonder if he's still going to have his camp here.
I don't know. Joe, Nashville SC taking on Philadelphia. Who you got in that one? Win, lose, or draw?
Yeah, win, Nashville SC, make it my lock.
Ooh.
Geodis has been waiting a long time for this to open. I think it's going to be an epic day. Fitzy on the fiddle for the anthem, and it's going to be an awesome day. You can't lose that. You got to win that game. They're going to roll.
I'll go draw. I think it'll end up being 1-1, the final score with Nashville SC and Philadelphia. We move to the individual portion of the program. Joe Rexrode, kick us off. Your first individual selection.
Yeah, I mean, boy, this is tough because now the NBA playoffs get to a certain point and you can't just load up on the NBA, which has been very good to me. But Celtics-Bucks game 1 Sunday, Bucks are getting 4.5.
I got them at 5.
I got them at 5 too.
You got them at 5. Okay, even better. I'm all over the Bucks, and I know Middleton's still out. And the Celtics are playing great and very impressive series, but I will take those points. I think at the very least you're talking about a very close game.
I got the Bucks winning outright, but I'll take the +5. Fear the deer in game 1 against the Celtics. So I'll just go ahead and throw that one out there. Michelle, your first individual selection.
Okay, well, I was picking that game as well, but I'm picking Bucks +5, and I'm also making it my lock.
Wow.
The tide has shifted when Michelle connects with the Bucks.
The deer.
Fear the deer. All right, Michelle, kick us off with your second individual selection.
Okay, I'm also staying in the NBA. We got the Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers. The Heat I have favored by 4.5. Give me the Heat on this one. I don't really know what this 76ers team is, to be completely honest. They had that big win last night, but I think the Heat are going to challenge them. I think they win by about 5 or more.
So Michelle going with the Heat and the Sixers. Heat favored by 4.5. Joe, I'll go hockey. The Blues taking on the Vegas Golden Knights tonight. Vegas has absolutely nothing to play for, and the Blues are still trying to chase down Minnesota. Give me the Blues -1.5 and make it my lock. I think St. Louis is going to absolutely destroy Vegas tonight, and they'll win by 4. So give me the Blues -1.5 tonight. against the Vegas Golden Knights. Joe Rexrode, your second individual selection.
Thank you, Michelle. I totally miss Heat Sixers. And I'm going to jump on that one too, except I'm going Sixers. I mean, the way that they rolled,
probably not
in the decisive game in Toronto, all this talk about Doc Rivers going to blow it and all this stuff. That was a statement. I really like that team. And I like that series a lot too, but I'll take the 4.5 for sure.
Joe Rexrode, your final individual selection.
Okay. This is a shout out to Phyllis Pratt, my grandmother, best person I've ever known. I'm in her house, and she is the greatest Detroit Tigers fan in the world. And she has been for decades and decades. Her Tigers stink, and I'm mad for her. And the Tigers are at the Dodgers today. I don't even know what the line is. Whatever it is, I should make this my lock. Dodgers, whatever the line is, they're going to kill the Tigers. The Tigers are absolute dog water, and it pisses me off.
It's probably a 1.5, but I will double check on that to make sure. But you're locking down on the Dodgers.
I won't lie. I'm going to stick with my lock with SC. But
okay, that's right. Yeah,
come on, Joe. Risk it to get the biscuit.
Well, I want my grandma to be happy, so I don't want to put a lock on that. So I want to be wrong for her.
Michelle, your final individual selection.
Okay, guys. The Los Angeles Angels versus the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox are favored by 1.5. Give me the Angels. And that's all I have to say on that one.
Just a complete reversal this week from Michelle.
Your teams are out, Ryan, from Chicago.
That's right.
Listen, he just looks at me. Well, they lost. Oh, they lost again. So maybe if I do this, then I'll win some weekend winner points.
All right, my final pick. I'll go Tampa Bay Lightning -1.5 against the Islanders. Lightning have turned it on. They'll crush New York today heading into the playoffs. Lightning -1.5 against the Islanders. So that's going to do it for us on Weekend Winners. Ladies and gentlemen, good luck tonight. We'll see how it goes. And over the weekend as well, even though both of you pick games that happen on a Monday and are not weekend, but that's okay. Weekend winners.
All right, back to screaming about AJ, or maybe just having this banana instead.
You have to look at the reface on Twitter of you, Rexrode's face on Jared's body.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, yeah. Great stuff. We'll continue the conversation. Get to Call Your Shot Friday coming up next as well, including some final thoughts on A.J. Brown and the Titans, what they're going to do in the second round coming up today. That's next. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. While an isolated shower or two will be possible today, we're mainly looking at partly cloudy skies with highs in the upper 70s and lower 80s.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
It's the return of Jack White, live in concert. The Supply Chain Issues Tour. This Saturday and Sunday at Ascend Amphitheater. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new albums from Jack White, Fear of the Dawn, is available now. And Entering Heaven Alive drops July 22nd. Don't miss Jack White. Visit jackwhitethird.com for more information.
Middle Tennessee, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, we're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and trusted by thousands of homeowners in our community. Our team is ready to assist with all your home maintenance projects, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, appliance service, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Trying to find a new home right now is next to impossible. Very little inventory, prices are crazy high, rates are moving up. Here's a better idea. Let my friends at Loan Pronto refinance your current home, turn all that equity you have into cash, and totally transform your house. A new kitchen, new bathroom, a pool. Think about it. Your home value is up. Instead of wasting all that on an overpriced new house, convert that equity into cash for a home makeover. One local couple did it and got $200,000 out. They added new hardwoods, an outdoor living space, a swimming pool with spa and all new cabinets and appliances, plus a home office. Now they have their dream home, and they never had to move. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their home improvement refi. Give your home a total makeover and do it now. You can even skip your next house payment in the process. Call now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands, including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
This is Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Don't miss Nashville's best NFL draft coverage starting at 5 o'clock today on 1025 The Game, presented by Social Furniture, Apple Collision Centers, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and the Nashville Sheriff. Be sure to join us on location as 1025 The Game will be broadcasting live from 312 Pizza Company in Germantown. You can watch all our live coverage of the NFL draft via 1025 The Game's Twitch, Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter. And last night is indication that you never know what's going to happen on the NFL draft. So certainly make sure you're tuned in for that. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game, streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio here with you on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Going to have Call Your Shot Friday coming up here in just a few minutes, presented by Days Delta 8, the highest quality standard of Delta 8. And for the sake of time, we're just going to focus in on what the Titans are going to do with pick number 35. But Joe, you seem to be laughing at me right now, so I don't know what's going on.
I'm not laughing at you. I just never knew that if you mash Jared and I together, we become Sloth from Goonies. So it's a nice, sobering little capper on the show. Just going to go curl up in a ball the rest of the day.
There are a lot of comments to the effect of Joe Stillman on the text line today with your thoughts on the A.J. Brown situation, I will say.
Yes.
Well, I will say the Lego hair fits you better.
I mean, that is just horrifically, obscenely disgusting, Gregory. I'm telling Elon Musk. I'm reporting you to Elon Musk.
Yes, Elon. Let's get you on the line, see if we could do something about this. So let's do today's version of Call Your Shot Friday. The Titans now, with A.J. Brown being traded, they've got a pick coming up at number 35, pick at 69, and then their same pick that they had at 90 as well. I thought for sure yesterday, Joe, that there was a chance after they drafted Treylon Burks and traded A.J. Brown that they were going to hold on at number 26 and they were going to take a quarterback. Malik Willis still on the board. Obviously, Matt Corral still on the board. Desmond Ridder still on the board. And one quarterback selected yesterday in the first round of the draft. So Call Your Shot Friday today is going to be this. What do the Titans do at number 35 overall with the pick that they acquired yesterday, trading back from number 26?
Yeah, and I think it's almost like it's either or. Are they going to go quarterback? I don't think they are. My called shot is, you know what? Well, I don't. You brought this into the world, so I probably shouldn't call a shot. But as soon as you said it earlier in the show, I was like, ooh, the George Pickens, another receiver at that spot. Again, you still would be talking about. You still be talking about a team that's reliant on two rookies and a veteran, good number 2 receiver coming off an ACL. Okay, to try to replace A.J. Brown, but that would at least be sellable to the whole be greater on Tannehill. Couldn't get it done with A.J., which whatever. We don't have time to keep going around with that, but at least it's still trying to go now, that's going to be, I'll steal your idea. That's going to be my called shot. Or if you want to just say, I'm going to say, I don't think they are going to do the quarterback thing right now.
So you're just going to steal my George Pickens shot from right underneath me?
No, you can have that as a shot. My shot is no quarterback. I think that's a shot. I think how many people expect quarterback now?
I think a lot of people expect quarterback right now. I mean, I thought about it yesterday, and that's still, I think, going to be an option at 35, right? I mean, Tampa Bay is the first pick. They're not taking a quarterback. So Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder, Matt Corral, all those guys could still be on the board. Now, I thought at one point last night, there were some trades that I thought some people might trade back in the first round and get a quarterback, but Kenny Pickett, the lone guy, goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers last night, the only quarterback drafted in round 1. So my called shot yesterday of 4 quarterbacks in round 1, not even close, Rexrode, only 1.
Yeah, and how many times do we talk about, look at these mock drafts with like 1 QB? Come on, it's not going to happen, right? I was very surprised too, but this was some, good reporting and good information out there about how people felt about the QBs.
Michelle, what do you think the Titans do at number 35?
Robbie, as soon as you texted us about the AJ trade, in my head, I was like, they're going quarterback. I know they didn't have the 26th pick, but I still think they're going quarterback. And I think it's going to be Desmond Ridder. But, yeah, I'm pretty confident in that.
So Desmond Ridder, there's a lot of people thinking that that Ridder could be the guy coming up at 35. I'm surprised that Willis is still on the board. I really am. Like, I thought somebody in the first round would have snatched him up.
Yeah, I agree. I think with him, it's the upside, but is there enough upside? I think he has the highest ceiling, but is it high enough to spend a first round pick on him? Pickett was, I guess, kind of like the most ready-made guy, but I'm surprised too. And he's there, I think both of those guys, Ridder or Willis, could be there if the Titans want to. If the Titans do go quarterback, to me, that's basically then this whole thing is a reset. It's some level of rebuild that they're going into, which again, like if you're Ryan Tannehill and that's the case, okay, so they just took away your best receiver and now they're drafting your replacement. Like what's his morale? And I understand it's pro sports. Hey, you want a job or not? You get paid $29.5 million, but think about what you're saying to, again, the players on this team right now. But I think that if that's the case and they do that, that's what they're making a play. Kind of like Vrabel said, we want to be here a long time. We got to do blah, blah, blah. Well, that's what this would be.
Well, as we start to wrap up the show today, I do want to say congratulations to Treylon Burks for being drafted in the first round by the Titans. I'm really excited about Treylon Burks. I said yesterday on the show that that's who they were going to end up taking. I did not anticipate that being the scenario that they ended up getting Treylon Burks, but I like him. I think he's a really good player. I do feel bad that there's going to be a lot of discussion and pressure on him now to live up to A.J. Brown, but Treylon Burks, I think, has the opportunity to be really good. I just hope that the weight of all of this does not affect him negatively for the Titans.
He was impressive. It's too bad that because, he should have been coming in here talking about how awesome it's going to be A.J. Brown's understudy. Now, granted, they wouldn't have been able to get him where they were picking, but instead, A.J. Brown comparisons galore, but he's a heck of a talent, and I think people are going to like him a lot.
I think people are too, and my God, he hunts hogs with knives. What more could you want out of a wide receiver than that? That's going to do it for us today. Piggy. Yeah, absolutely. That's going to do it for us today here on Robby and Rexrode. Darren Donica Chase coming up next. They'll have you covered on the A.J. Brown trade to the Philadelphia Eagles as well. You're listening to ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Heads up.